Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Dungeons and Dice Masters. So, before we begin, I actually have one announcement. The weekend of the 25th of July, we won't be playing. I will still be uploading an episode the Thursday or Friday prior to it, as I have them pre-recorded. We're one behind, so for exactly this purpose. But it's actually my birthday next Thursday, so I'm going to be going up and doing some celebration, so we won't be able to be playing that weekend. But that's pretty much it. So, without further delay, let's jump in. So, you guys, after returning from the Umbra Hills, having discovered that you need some sort of sword, with a drawing from Tassar to go off, you realize this is quite the artifact from way back in the past, or it's something very recently created. Still have yet to figure out who's lying and who's telling the truth or who's recounting wrong. Either way, you guys set out to make your mission to find this sword after releasing Tassar the Reaper, who a lot of you still owe a favor, and some of you have given that favor up already, or at least used it. But nevertheless, you made your way back to Joran Village, upon which you spent some time resting and raving, and after that, you all decided to go to the Shademaster's place. Going there, deciding to infiltrate this beautiful home within Joran Village, you came up with a plan. A way to get in, distract the current occupants, which you found to be this fairly beautiful half-elven woman in a simple robe, and that was it. Korvar taking up the mantle for this, he put it to the task to himself to distract her, while the rest of you got around the side of the house and got into the cellar, less so discreetly, thanks to Basha and the complication of iron bars along the wooden doors that is now resting in splinters and complete shrapnel, and having put it back exactly the way it was after you left. We'll see if anyone notices that. But between getting in and getting out, the ones that went down into the cellar found that there was a normal type of cellar with probably very expensive wine, a weapons rack with some very interesting weapons lining it. However, a lot of you not seeing or realizing the worth or seeing them at all. And after some investigation, you found a secret lever. By pulling it, a wall opened, and making your way through there, you came upon, after setting off some traps, unfortunately for Trixie, you came upon this really interesting dungeon. And let's just say it wasn't your conventional dungeon for the most part. And to most of your discomfort, you decided to leave this. Basha, however, on the other hand, did not know the wiser. I was thinking that most of the stuff in this place is very poor weaponry. It's a very poor arsenal to be down here. Plus, all the colors kind of pointless. Anyway, had a look around, found a lever, pulled it, found another place opened up to what looked to be a sort of communal sleeping arrangement area slash, I guess kind of, you could call it picnic area or a communal eating space. It's a bit strange, not something you've really ever seen before. Probably the closest you can tell is like prisons, where they've got the segmented sleeping arrangements, but even then, this was a lot nicer than that, and there was no bars or anything. Nevertheless, you left, made your way back out, and made your way back to the tavern. Upon which, about, say, maybe 20 minutes or so after that, the door swings open, and there standing in the doorway is Korovar, sweating, looking a bit flustered, breathing heavily, looking at you all. And that's where we pick up.
Help me bring her back.
Bring who back?
I can't fit the disc through the door. Please, come outside.
All right. Deimos will come and help Korovar.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Assassins.
Yeah, no. Kel goes right away.
Yeah, okay, I'll go help.
Yeah, I'll put my drawings down. What's going on?
As soon as I yell that, I run back outside and tend to the woman on the floating disc.
Yes.
What did you do to her?
It is not what I did. We were attacked.
By who?
Help her. I don't know if her heart's beating anymore. Please, I'll explain in a minute. Tend to her.
Can I do a medicine check?
Yes. So,
Yes, can Deimos as well?
what you will see as you come out of the tavern is right next to the tavern door where sort of Korovar is standing. You can see, first of all, in the distance, this long, slight trail of darker blood in the mud. It's a bit hard to tell because it is mud, but it leads up to this floating disc, which you have seen before, Basho resting peacefully on it occasionally. But instead, blood is busy pooling and waterfalling off of it, as upon the disc is this familiar-faced half-elf lady that is barely just covered by the dressing gown she was wearing, and she doesn't look to be conscious. Go ahead and roll medicine checks
21.
while I sort out this
10.
music. Is it too loud for you guys, or how is it?
This is
Kind of quiet.
right. This is right outside the tavern, right?
Oh, that'd be why. Yes, this is right outside the tavern. I'll boost it a little bit. Alright. So what do we got? 29 for Animus.
I'm gonna take a look around and see if there are like people freaking out and staring.
Can we tell if she's dead? Or is she
Alright,
still alive?
So, I'll get to that. So, Fish, please make me a perception check. In the meantime, you guys are looking over her body, trying to check pulse, check breathing rate, look at the actual wound. And as you guys are looking over, Adam is finding the wound first and pointing it out to you, Damos. You can all see that on her back, in the center of her back, and Adamus, you can tell this is really quite well placed for a wound, and you can tell that it is some sort of weapon that has pierced through the back, and it's right in the spinal cord, essentially. Unfortunately, there's no pulse, and doesn't look like she's still living. It was a very quick, fatal wound.
Korovar, who did this?
I got a 3 perception.
You
don't see anyone.
She didn't even know my name.
Who did this, Korovar? Like, what happened? Tell us what happened.
Maybe not here. To a room, maybe. So that we have some privacy.
I don't know if they're going to allow us inside the building. Bleeding body.
The disc won't fit into the door. It's just too large, anyways.
Fish is going to run around and see if he can find any like secluded, whether it's an alley or like some place where we can actually talk privately outside.
Well, there is what looks to be an abandoned building to the left of the tavern, which you guys didn't really take notice of before, but there is that alleyway between the two buildings on the left-hand side.
Yeah, I'll point it out to them.
Take far and lead him.
So you guys make your way around to the alleyway, and this, surprisingly, actually isn't that muddy. It seems to be more gravelly around the side of this alleyway. But you bring around the disc, a faint trail of blood leading as well behind you.
Huh. Well, Korvar.
Yeah, Kanajo Kawa. Kanajo. Sorry. She was leading me out of the residence. A person, Hito no-san. She was struck in the back by someone wielding a dagger of some kind.
Where did they go? What?
I don't know. As soon as I noticed the dagger was stuck out of her back, I was struck by some force, flung backwards. I didn't have a chance to react, and then they just disappeared or teleported or something. Magic I haven't seen before.
Did you get a good look at them?
Hooded. I don't remember. First thing I thought was not to retaliate, but to try to save her life.
Not to sound odd, Korvar, but were there any animals in the area? Any birds that you could hear or see? Any squirrels or anything?
I wasn't concentrating on that at the moment. Damos.
DM, I'd like to start casting Speak with Animals. It's a 10-minute time to cast it.
Are you hurt? Do you need healing?
I am not hurt. No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Adamus still has his arm slung over your shoulder.
Kayla, the half-elf, she, with her dying breath, said something which was peculiar. It probably has bearing on this, but before we discuss that, can we arrange for some type of burial? I don't know her customs. I don't know this place's customs.
I don't know her customs, Korvar, but with being the only person I know who knows her, with your blessing, I would happily give a ceremony.
While you guys are discussing this,
Not my place.
I'm gonna backtrack and basically try to follow the blood trail back to the house and kind of search it for any clues or anything that may have been dropped or might give us a little bit of an indication of
If
what
you're walking
kind of happened.
back that way, Damos is going to say, try not to scare off any of the small wildlife. They might have seen something that we don't know yet.
I'm also gonna go back to the house and I'm gonna check out the bedroom and sort of see if I can see anything there.
Yeah, I didn't know if fish was still in my backpack or not, but yeah, I was gonna more or less try to slink into the house through the front door, follow the blood trail, and try to rewind the events for the night. Basically,
Yeah,
I'll
stay
move
behind
my
as
way through. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm sorry that.
I do whisper over one more time. I think Adams would probably be the closest one to hear it. I never told her my name. she said her last breath to someone that she didn't know the name to.
She spent her last moments with you. I think she would have appreciated you being there anyway.
She could have spent that time alone, Korvar. You saved her from that.
Oh,
That
damn it.
doesn't help. Let's do something with her body. I know the Shade Master's not here, but there's someone here that can do something. Once we arrange some arrangements for that, and I look around, I guess people are missing. And as soon as we get everyone back, I'll tell the last words.
Deimos is going to nod, and if the DM allows that the spell for talk with animals is finished, I'm going to go and try and search for some animals in the area.
If you guys are not really doing anything else, then the ritual finishes.
Yeah.
You can make a perception check for some animals.
All right.
Fish is gonna stay with Korvar and Adamus as a point of communication with Bashra.
Kel will stay with them as well.
Alright, so...
I think someone... Sorry.
No, sorry, you go.
I would just turn to whoever's around when Basha leaves and say just someone should go with him just to make sure that he doesn't get into any trouble. They might
I'm
stop
with
you
him.
out there.
I'm with him.
Yeah, DM, I don't know if you can hear Brasher, but he did say that he was going back to the house to check it out.
Okay, sorry. Trying to listen to a few things at once. Alright, so who's...
Yeah, all good, man.
Who's going back to the house and who's doing other things like Damos?
I'm going towards the house to find animals.
Okay.
But, yeah.
And the rest of you?
I'm going into the house.
You're all going back to the house.
Just Basha and Trixie.
Okay, and the other... so Adamus and Kel?
Korvar, Kel, and Fish were all gonna stay with Korvar, and we were gonna help him with the body.
Okay.
Yeah, just finding some type of cleric or something to knows the burial proceedings or body prep for that type of thing around this area.
Okay. Do me a favor and make an investigation check for the cleric.
I mean, because we're there, does he take it at an advantage because assistance?
Yes, you can, if you want. Unless you want to each roll separately. It's up to you. The rest of you make your way back to the house.
I took advantage.
Alright. What'd you end up getting?
17.
17.
Alright. Cool. So the rest of you, including Damos, you make your way back to the house. Damos, why don't you go ahead and make a perception check for me?
If it was for the animals I did, I got a 12.
Alright, 12.
Yeah.
I'd say you find a sparrow sitting on top of one of the houses.
Alright, looking at the sparrow, I would say, hello, friend. Do you have a moment?
Which comes out as... And you see the sparrow kind of go... And then...
Yes, we can understand each other. It is an ability I have. I have a few questions, if you would allow.
Yes?
And he would pull into his pocket and reach out and pull some bird seed out, trying to make his friend.
Food.
Did you see anybody go into that house right there? And Deimos would point to that house and attack somebody.
House. Nest. House.
Yes, nest
People.
attacked. Did you see the nest attacked?
No. House.
Were you around? How long ago was this, DM?
This would have been because the ritual about 12 minutes ago.
This happened not too long ago. I need to know if anybody has come to the nest.
Nope. Nobody. Nope. Birdseed. Food.
He's gonna give him the food.
Comes
Yep,
down
he's
and sits
gonna
on your
let him take it.
Says, tasty. Tasty. Tasty.
My friend, I'd like you to come with me. And I would walk toward the house, and try and get Korvar's attention.
Okay. Just starts hopping about on your hand a little bit. Alright, so you guys over there are searching for a cleric. So you go around asking a couple people on the street who are really shifty people by the looks of it, but they all give you vague answers, most of which it seems that not many people here actually know the area. Most are just passers-by. But you do find what looks to be one Shade Watch member, which is surprising considering of how rare they've seemed to become in the last couple of days. And you pull him up, and it looks to be just like a normal human male, black hair. And you approach, and he says, "Can I help you?"
Yes. Kayla was attacked at the Shade Master's residence. As I kind of glance back, the floating disc is still following us. I don't know who to report it to. I'm trying to find someone to take control of her body to prep it for burial. I know the Shade Master isn't here.
Well, we don't really have a standard here for burials. It's not very cultured, this area. But Kayla was very close to the Shade Master. I would definitely let her know.
Yeah, she's not here. I'm sorry. You're a Shade Watch, right?
I am.
And the assistant to the Shade Master was just killed. And you're not sounding the alarm?
What alarm, my friend? This is a very small village. The rest of the Shade Watch have gone. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do.
Right. What? Then in the Shade Watch, or this, per the Shade Master, I don't know. What are your customs? I want to do right by Kayla to see her interred.
If you want my opinion, take her, bury her, contact the Shade Master, find her somehow. That's my advice.
I just nod, and I look back over at Adamus, and I believe Kel is. I think Fish is there, right? I look at all three in the eyes. I'm going back to the tavern. I'll clean her up in preparation for Damos to perform some type of rite.
I have some silk rope, if you want, so she can be more covered.
Thank you.
Bye. Just starts like wandering off.
I ignore that person, and
I inside check that person, please.
Make an insight check.
I start walking back to the tavern.
He was not nice.
He seemed like dead inside.
Welcome to
Yeah, no,
John
I didn't want to
Village.
say it.
Well, the last one seemed like he was trying to force some life inside, so...
19. Okay. PM you.
While you're typing that, I start walking back over to the tavern. I take the silk robe and I guess begin cleaning her up and prepping her for some type of burial.
Go ahead.
If I'm with him at this point, I'd like to help. Unless I feel like that's intruding. Korovar, would you like some help?
I'm going to start prepping the necessary requirements for ceremony.
Adamus, I am not okay right now.
Okay. I will be here, and I will help you. And so, yeah, Adamus will help Korovar with the body.
Okay, so what are you doing with the body? You just starting to, like, wrap it and...
Clean off the blood, because I'm guessing there's a lot of blood. Clean, dress, put into a state of rest, I guess. Hands clasped about the waist or the midsection, chest area, and just that.
Okay.
DM, just something as a note. I don't want to do it in front of Korovar because it seems cold, but I would like to commit to memory as much as possible so I can draw it later, so I can analyze it.
Okay. Yep. All right. So. Yes.
I was just gonna mentally ask Bosher how it's going.
Okay. Well, on that note, Bashra and who else was with Bashra? Trixie. You guys make your way back to the house. Now, upon arrival to the familiar house of the Shademasters, you see blood covering the porch, where it looks like the body that Korovar had been telling the truth about, naturally, looks maybe either shoved or resting against the wall and slid down. It looks like this massive pool of blood is on the porch, bloodied steps everywhere, and then they come to an abrupt stop almost inside the doorway, where it looks like blood has spattered from an impact, but there are no footprints, it looks like, of blood inside the house. The door is open. What are you doing?
Well, I'm gonna try to more or less slink as much as a giant lizard can into the house. I'm gonna stop by the pool of blood and actually taste it.
Okay.
See if I taste anything that doesn't taste like blood. I.e., I'm checking to see if maybe the blade was poisoned. Anything that stands out.
Make him speak, actually.
It could be medicine or nature. Really, it's completely up to you.
Yeah.
If I had to go with one or the other, I would assume.
I'd say actually make a medicine check.
Medicine check? I can do that. If I can type medicine.
Medicini.
Yeah, I know, Medicini. I'm making Alfredo.
Good old Medicini coffee.
It's blood Alfredo. It's pretty good pasta.
Surprised you're not gathering a little bit for later.
Oh, man.
I'm not a vampire.
Okay, anyway, you taste the blood. So, with a 16, there's something off about the blood. You're not really sure what it is, but it's not... You've tasted human blood before, sometime in your life, and this is
recently.
This is not the same in any sense of the word. It's definitely got some sort of very numbing effect on your tongue. So after you've tasted it, where you put it on your tongue, it tastes like a very tangy rock smell taste, and then your tongue goes numb and you can't taste anything.
Alright, I'm gonna try to find like a piece of cloth or anything I can actually use to soak up the blood a bit and save some of it. That way we can test it later.
I'd say, you have a couple rag here or two that you can use.
Yeah, my kilt. Take off part of my kilt.
Easily enough. And there's plenty of blood to soak up. Trixie. What are you doing?
I'm going to sort of have a bit of a look around, and I'm going to sort of see if anything sort of sparks up memories of similar situations in the past.
So what are you looking for exactly?
I'm looking for like how many people there might have been, any sort of indication on any sort of like weapons that might have been used, how they gained entry, so on and so forth.
Make an investigation check. Natural one?
Natural one.
Okay. So, having a look around, you can also tell where the incident must have happened, given the spraying of the blood backwards. You kind of get the sense that Kayla must have been facing outwards when this wound had happened, given that the wound was at her back. Aside from that, though, it's really hard to tell what's going on. There's a lot of footprints on the porch, and there's heavy pooling of blood, and there's that smear across the wall. It's really difficult for you to tell what exactly happened here. So Basha, what are you doing? Your blood.
Well, I got the blood sample. This guy had to show up from somewhere. He had to leave from somewhere. I'll start checking any exits I can find on the first floor, and then basically investigate the first floor. Try to find signs of entry or exit. Anything that might have, maybe he snagged something, left a scent, and then work my way up to the second floor and try to find anything that stands out.
Make me an investigation check.
Okay.
In the meantime, Demos. While you are heading back to the house with this bird, you can see in the distance Basha and Trixie having a look around. Something catches your eye. In the corner of your eye. You have a look, and it's a familiar figure to you, standing in roughly about the alleyway, not trying to be hidden, but just standing there looking at you.
Deimos, and this is just Deimos by himself right now with the bird, right?
Yep.
Well, Deimos is gonna look to the bird, and he's gonna go, I didn't think it would be so soon. I suppose it is. Wait right here a moment, and then he's gonna start writing a note, and he's going to wrap up what we had talked about inside of it into a pouch, and he's going to present it to the sparrow, and he's going to say, some people are going to come out of that nest. Make sure they get this, please. And then from his pocket, he will put more food out by the bag, and he says, please?
Yep, people. Tasty.
Thank you, my friend. And then Deimos is going to look at the house for a moment. He's going to sigh, and then he's going to turn around and walk down the alley. And that will be the last time you guys will see Deimos from my side.
Okay. So, that happens. In the meantime, Korvar, Adamus, Kel, and I believe Fish, yes? What are you all doing? You've got the body now wrapped. The wound has stopped bleeding thanks to the constriction of bandages, and you've managed to wrap the body somewhat in a burial sense that best you're aware of.
The entire time, just double checking, because I can't unfortunately remember exactly what you said the last time I did a medicine check, but you said no pulse, no even slight bit of breathing, nothing.
As far as you can tell, no.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on it. Just to be sure.
Okay.
Just to be sure.
Let me check something. Yeah. Basha and Trixie, if you want to, or unless you guys want to discuss between yourselves around the body, just while I look this up.
The last thing that I did was ask Basha for an update, and I haven't heard back. So.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You'll hear her blood tastes funny. Searching the house. Give me a few minutes to make sure there's nothing of importance.
The only thing that I would tell Adamus and Korvar and everyone else is that they're still searching. I feel like telling them that she tastes funny is probably insensitive.
Well,
but I will
When
tell
we know
them
if
that
she tastes
they're still
funny, that's
searching.
fair.
no. The whole time, Korvar is just kind of whispering, not really whispering, but kind of talking to himself. I guess more to Adamus than anything, and actually to maybe to Kel, since I know you two the best. Should I feel anger, rage, empathy?
You
I
feel
didn't
what
know
you
her.
need. You feel whatever you feel.
Emotions after death are hard, but you have to feel them, or you don't know what to do after. But let them happen. You can deal with the results after.
Adamus will take from his sketchbook, not the sketch that he took last, but the one of Kayla normally, and I will hand it to him.
Okay.
Thank you. But that's just it. I didn't really know her. We spent a few hours, less.
You still care.
Do I?
Do you?
Your first priority was helping her. You must care some.
Yeah. Actually, I look over at both you. Actually, both you two. Kel, you druid crafted a lay for me. Could you do something similar with Adamus as well? Something.
Yeah, I can. It'll take a few castings of the druid craft cantrip, but she'll make
Please.
whatever Korrivar wants for her.
Just a wreath of flowers. I don't even know if she liked flowers, but something.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry, I've just remembered I was casting Cure Wounds.
Yes. So, I'd assume that you kind of, given the nature of cure wounds, I assume that you kind of been talking as you were trying to cast the spell. And once you return your attention back, you release the spell into the body. In a sense that you've never had to experience before, the spell releases, and you feel the magic sink into the body. You don't get a sense of connection. It doesn't give you a sense of whether the body is alive or not, but you do see the evidence of the wound on the back and audible clues as well of it healing over a little bit. No change in actions or anything like that, physique, just the clues that the cure wound spell has seemed to repaired some of the wound.
Okay. I'll turn to Korovar and say, I don't think we should bury her yet. Maybe we should give it some time. I want to be sure.
Sure. I'm in no rush to bury her. I just don't know the customs and traditions, and I'm not overly religious to begin with, so I was just waiting for Damos to get back to perform the rites, just out of respect for her.
I'll turn to Fish and say, please ask Washer to return some blood.
I will mentally ask Basha. I'll tell him that Adamus needs some of Kayla's blood for a weird experiment.
Yeah, you know what? Never mind. I've got the body right there. I could grab any of the blood that's pooling. So I'll just do that. And if it's possible, I have alchemy and medicine supplies and herbalism supplies. So I'm going to try and create like an anti-poison antidote thing.
Okay. Make a check with your, I'd say, alchemy supplies. Given the nature of this check, I'd say that this is based on your wisdom.
Wisdom. Okay,
Yes.
cool.
So the DC is going to be fairly high, considering you don't know if there is any, and if there is, what toxin you're trying to cure.
Which is fair. Oh my god. Okay, I rolled a natural 2, so that's an 8 in total.
By the end of roughly 5 minutes, a rather quickly put together antidote, you assume, has been crafted in a small vial of yours. You believe that it could potentially cure something.
Okay. I'll give it to her.
In what form?
It's liquid, right?
Yes.
I'll put it in her mouth and see if I can get her to swallow it.
Okay.
Adamus, what are you doing?
I just want to make sure that there are no poisons keeping her down. If she's still alive, I just want to make sure.
Okay, so you pour the vial down her throat and you hear the slight sickening sound as there's no resistance, it just sort of gurgles and bubbles down. And a few moments pass and you see it start to foam and start pouring out of the mouth.
I'm gonna clean up as much of it as I can and just... I guess that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Kel's gonna keep Koravar a little ways back while she does that.
Yeah.
I, with a blank face, just kind of taking this all in. I let Kel lead me away.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because I don't think fish can help it, I'm gonna mentally send Bashra a note that I think I just watched Adamus kill somebody.
It's quiet for a minute, and then you hear, about time.
Bashra and Trixie, what are you doing?
Oh, did I, when I did the investigation of the house, did I find anything?
Did you roll your investigations?
I did. I rolled a natural 20.
Ooh. All right.
I know, right?
Interesting. Okay.
Sherlock Bashra.
Trixie got a 1, yeah? Or
Yeah.
Natural 1, okay. So, which is kind of funny. So you all, both of you, start having a look around, looking for visual clues, pieces of parchment or pieces of cloth ripped or snagged or fallen on the ground, footprints of any kind left in the dust, in the carpets, things moved, windows open, things smashed, any sort of evidence at all that there might be signs as to who, what, and where happened. Trixie, you actually end up like tripping on the stairs a little bit as you go to make your way up and kind of sprain your ankle a little, and you're kind of too busy focused on that to really have a good think about what's going on. Bashra, moving a little past Trixie on the ground floor, something that you notice is that this house is very well maintained. You're kind of used to there being lots of dirt around or dust or things just kind of haphazardly placed. Everything in this house has been particularly and meticulously placed. There is nothing, aside from the extra bits and bobs that Kayla has put down, there's nothing out of place or where it hasn't been deemed to be. Including the floors, there's no dust, it's all spotless. But having a look closer to where the incident happened, you follow the blood spatter and you get this hunch, a sort of sixth sense, kind of from your hunting background, that generally predators of this kind they won't return to the scene, but they will leave a different way they came in. And you kind of get this hunch, this nagging at the back of your head, what if? And you make your way down to the right of the house where the study door is, and you notice that the door is slightly ajar. You push it open a little. You find the window inside the study partially ajar. You see a couple scratches that look out of ordinary, out of place, considering there are no other scratches on the desk right next to the window. It looks like whoever came in must have left out of this window. And you get the sense that, based on what you discussed as the party, that this door was severely locked, that whoever has done this is very skilled at what they do.
Hear me?
You can, yes.
I keep forgetting now. I'm on mute half the time. Alright, so doing a quick look around the bedroom, found the scratches and everything like that. I doubt there was anything else really out of place, minus a really badly destroyed bedroom.
This is the study.
I'm gonna go. Oh, the study?
This
Sorry.
is the study downstairs, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I got no reason to really go upstairs, to be honest. Yeah, I'd go back out and try to find Trixie.
She's still...
Let her...
he's still kind of on the stairs, holding his ankle.
Oh. Yeah, she fell downstairs. Yeah, actually, I'll go upstairs if I can get away with it.
Yeah. So you kind of
Just kind of push my way past them.
Trixie, a little bit, and make your way up
I'll
the
look for
stairs. Having a look for any sort of more visual clues. You get to the bedroom. The bedroom itself is surprisingly not in that much chaos. You do find a couple pieces of items of clothing along the ground that seem to be kind of, I guess, what you would consider as pointless as far as clothing goes. The bed is definitely a mess, and the window is shut.
Minus that, I don't see anything really out of place.
Not that you can see. Everything seems to be in order.
Alright, yeah, I know humans like shiny things, but I don't know what's worth things and what's not, so not find anything of value, or of interest, correction. I'm gonna go ahead and head back down the stairs and push my way past Trixie, and then, yeah, sorry, and then just kind of leave the house and go try to find the rest of the group.
Okay.
Trixie will also leave eventually.
Okay. It's not too long after Basha comes back down. You feel right enough to walk again. It's still a little painful, but it wasn't like a serious sprain. It was just kind of like, like that. Hurt for a while, but it's okay. So you make your way outside. As you make your way out, you're greeted trying to avoid the blood a little bit, as there's a lot. You see this peculiar thing in the path, not too far from the house. It looks like an folded piece of parchment and some birdseed and a bird pecking at it. It looks to be something else with it too. As you come out a bit more, the bird kind of looks up and comes flying over and rests on Trixie's shoulder. And goes back over to the parchment.
Did it fly by my face?
No.
Oh,
it's steering clear of you.
Fun. I was gonna go. Ow.
I think it knows.
And that's why it's avoiding you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be the smart decision. Yeah, I'll pick up the whatever the items are. I don't really understand the meaning of the birdseed, but I'll take it too.
It was just feed for the bird. Bribery.
I don't know if it's important.
It's very important, thank you.
It's good sustenance. Okay, so you go over, you pick up the items. What you find is the remnants of birdseed, which the sparrow starts eating, but as you approach, backs away. As well as what looks to be a note, a folded parchment, and as you open it up, it's written in common. And it's, I mean, you're just glancing through it at a quick notice, but something about Damos. And then there's this little figurine of a badger that's sitting there. You pick it up. It's kind of...
I don't know what this is.
Bastra, you personally would have seen it before when Deimos used it to summon his badger. So given that you are an intelligent creature, you could remember that happening.
Okay. I thought it was like a little wooden badger. I was like, I don't know what this is.
What it actually is Deimos' uncommon magical item.
Oh. I'll hand it to Trixie.
Okay. Trixie, you get handed this. It feels heavier than wood. Just a little figurine of a badger.
Trixie's going to observe it, and then he's just going to put it in one of his pockets, and he's going to ask to see the note.
Okay. So do you want to read
DM,
the note?
did you want me to read the note? Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Damos, if you would like to read your note.
alright, so within the note it would say, "My friends, something has come up that I must attend to. I am terribly sorry to abandon you all in this time of work and this time of pain, but this cannot wait. I hope you will all understand. Each and every one of you are such widely diverse and powerful people. I hope we all meet again one day. In the spirit of the friendships we formed, I leave you this bag of tea, my favorite blend. It should be enough for all of you. As well, to you all I leave my most trusted companion, Maggie, the Great Badger. Should you ever need her, simply speak her name. I wish you all much luck and much happiness. I know you're strong enough to achieve what you need."
I'll read it out loud so that Butter can hear me, and then say that we should go back and tell the others what's happened.
Oh, also within the I don't know, DM, if you mentioned it. I'm sorry, I might have missed it. But there's also the information for the funeral rite.
Oh, yes. So what you find is just a little sort of instruction, kind of, to an elvish burial rite.
Take that as well, yeah.
Are you guys making your way back then?
Yeah. Is the bird still fluttering around?
Once you've read this note and it's finished, the birdseed, it sort of looks at you. Flies off.
All I can think of with Deimos walking off is that song from Avatar where it's a long, long way from Ba Sing Se.
Oh no. Oh jeez, okay. So you will make your way back to the tavern, or alleyway of the tavern. And you do find there the body of Kayla resting on the disc still, and Korvar being comforted by Kel. And yeah, things seem a bit down. The atmosphere has certainly dropped.
Is Damos with you?
I don't think we're going to be seeing him anytime soon. And I'm going to read the note out to everyone. And pull out the badger and put it on a table.
There's not really a table in the alleyway.
Oh yes, it's in the alleyway. I'll just hold it.
When I finally had a need for him, of course.
He did leave how to do the ceremony. Yeah.
Well, I don't think we should do it here in the alleyway. Unless it involves burning her bones, I think we should go out and, well, if you give me the right, I will go on the outskirts and I will lay her to rest. No one needs to come. You didn't know her.
I'll come.
Well, thank you.
You never know if you need the help.
If you want company, it won't be denied.
Yeah, I'll join.
I wouldn't say no.
Okay. So you all are finding a space to perform this rite?
Reading through the rite, and we walk to the outskirts a little bit just to dig some type of grave or, something to inter her within the earth.
Okay. Walking through the village a little bit with this dead body of a familiar face floating on a disc, you do get some looks, and you recognize that some of these people seem to have a reaction of familiarity and then deep sadness, but they seem to inwardly think and then drift off as you continue to move forward. You reach the outskirts of the town, and there's this patch of what would be these bright yellow flowers under a tree. A large sort of what looks to be like a maple leaf tree, just on the outskirts, so aside the patch of mud, like the long stretch of mud that is the path. So, I don't think any of you have a spade or a shovel, but you can start digging however you like, swords or shields or whatever. Eventually you would make this grave and place the body in the grave. The rite involves burying and laying petals of flowers across the body before covering with dirt. Once covered, it involves all attending the ritual or rite to sing. Well, sing is not really an appropriate term. It more mentions the word perform. It's what would be like an elven, how do I describe it? A very guttural, very heartfelt, from the throat yell, chant. I think, Korovar, you would actually be familiar with it. I think you'd be the only one suited to actually perform the chant.
I start off low, kind of throaty, go through a few verses, and then end with a string in Elvish, which I repeat for the group. May she find her soul within the earth. May she live on through the earth. May the earth become her home, and may she become the earth.
And with that,
Then I would ease the floating disc within, and whenever it's at its lowest point, I will dispel it so that her body lays to rest within the earth.
You do so, and gently lies at the bottom of the grave.
I just keep talking for a minute, just with a blank expression until someone stops me. I didn't know you. You didn't know me. But the earth knows, and that the earth will welcome you with open arms. I said it before your final breath, and I'll say it again. My name is Korovar. The earth knows your name.
You begin covering the body as Korovar continues to talk. Petals strewn across from the surrounding area. And slowly, handful by handful, dirt placed upon the body again. Eventually, completely covered is this rectangular square of dirt in the field of possibly daisies, yellow-tipped daisies. It's getting towards this time, it's getting towards sunset, and the sunlight, bright with orange, hits the maple tree, and the green of the tree shines this spectacular color as the rays that peek through the leaves hit the yellows of the petals of the flowers around, and the entire area lights up, and it's beautiful.
I just begin covering the body with the earth, and then I call back to my friends there. I'll cover the body. Y'all can go back to the tavern. Could y'all get a drink ready? I'll be there soon.
Well, I assume the rest of you heed to this and make your way back into town.
Trixie won't. He'll move away for a bit, and then he's going to cast invisibility on himself and keep watch from a distance to make sure Kurva doesn't do something stupid.
Alright. Can do.
Yeah, Fish's reaction was to, like, make his way towards the tavern, but stealthily keep an eye on Korovar.
Make a stealth check. Excuse me. It's getting very cold out here as well. Just so you're aware. It's kind of fitting.
Yeah, I'm heading toward the tavern. Given that Fish didn't exactly do that great, if I see little fish, I'll use my little thing to say, "Come on, little one, scoop her up, drop him in the back."
She's doing a terrible job at trying to hide.
Just kind of look at her like, man.
I feel so awkward. I don't know how to hide properly if I can't think straight.
Hide in the backpack.
For just a few minutes after what I presume that everyone else, whether they stay or whether they don't, I don't say nothing. There's no tears shed. There's just blank expression. I would stay there for maybe 5 minutes, and then I would walk back to the tavern.
Okay. Before you leave, you feel this gentle breeze, and though it's cold, in a way it's comforting, as it sort of swirls around the flowers and then it hits you in the face and moves on.
I take a moment in that, but then I turn inward and feel that that connection within my chest, and just as I pull the threads at it and I feel that familiar feeling, I just kind of emote or think a simple question: should I feel rage? But without really waiting for a response, I continue moving back to the tavern.
Okay. Start making your way back.
Trixie will follow him still in invisibility, so stealthily follow back.
Yeah. His mind is very elsewhere at this moment. It's really not hard to follow without being seen or noticed. But you all make your way back to the tavern. And they're sitting at the tavern waiting with a mug of whatever you like to have gotten for Korovar. They're sitting there waiting for you. Good ale. Gotcha. Everyone but Damos returns to the tavern, and you all sit there, and the tavern is silent. The bartender cleaning glasses, the barmaid busy sweeping floors, and there's no one else in there. It's just you at this tavern,
It's like y'all just came from a funeral or something. Can we get a few drinks over here? Has anyone eat yet? Anyone eat? Y'all hungry? Can we get some food, please, proprietress? Not the one who dumped wine on me, please.
The lady comes over. It's a different lady this time, and she takes your order and goes back to the kitchen.
For Bostro, he'll have like 3 chickens. Adamus doesn't eat. For Kel, just some. I don't know. Is it breakfast time, Kel? It feels like breakfast time. Bacon and eggs for her. Fish, just whatever meat you have on the Barbie. A little bit. I would like just a 6-ounce steak and a little bit of veggies, and some ale and some wine, please.
They go back to the kitchen and start preparing your meal.
I'm just gonna stare at Koravar like someone possessed him.
Okay.
So, thank you all for allowing me to do that. Thank you. But her last words, yes. Did you know that the Shade Master's name was Arhana? I think that's her name. So, while she was, breathing her last breath in my face. Is there more wine yet? While she was doing that, which, just goes without saying, that's an experience I never want to experience again. I think the Shade Master's name is Arhana. And she said that Arhana may be in danger and that someone's coming to collect blood money. Yeah. So, wine?
A bottle of wine is brought to the table.
Thank you very much.
Bashra will take a seat next to Korvar.
Yeah.
And ask him if he's okay.
I am perfectly fine. I just came from a funeral to a woman I just had sex with that I did not know. She didn't know my name. I am fine. This is okay. It's fine. I'm past it. I'm cool. Are you hungry?
Always.
They should be bringing you like 3 chickens or something. I don't know. I think that's what I said.
Okay.
Did you actually hear that?
You're all at the same table.
Yeah. I want an insight check. I don't trust that he's fine.
It's not difficult. It's like DC is 5 here. He's not fine. He's not in any way okay.
But there is some nuance to that too. So I would like to elaborate when you roll.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to roll for insight, you're more than welcome to, and I'll let Korva take over what you see in it. 4. We got a 7 and a 4. Bashra and Trixie.
Well, I guess since you set the DC at 5 with a 7, I guess Bashra would. Korvar's not okay, but it's not because of the funeral. It's kind of an unsure of what emotions he should be feeling.
Fish is gonna walk up to the counter and ask how much all the garbage my elf friend just ordered is gonna cost.
Bartender looks down over the counter to you and says, what was that? 3 chickens, alcohol. I'd say that runs you, for you all, gold and a half. That'll cover your meals and everything that you want to order today.
I'm gonna give him 3 gold and ask that they just be kind and gentle to my elf friend. He's been through a lot today.
I understand. And he sort of goes back to what he's doing. Takes the gold.
I'll waddle back over the table and just hug Korovar.
I hate to say it, but I'm mainly just watching to see how this whole heightened state of anxiety he's in plays out. So I'm just gonna watch him.
Yeah. Did y'all get what y'all were finding while we were yeah, what did y'all find what y'all were looking for?
Yes.
I
I'll
want to
bring
talk
out
about
the.
what I found.
I'll bring out the blood-stained rag. Her blood tasted weird. Made my tongue numb. And put the rag on the table. Mention. Oh. Also, it seemed that this person you fought left through the study window.
That is interesting. I kind of meant what if y'all found anything while I was distracting her, but that's good too. Her blood tastes weird, but you say he left through the study window because he disappeared before my eyes.
There were scratches on the study window. If you were talking about before, there was a pretty poorly designed armory downstairs and some type of holding pits.
There
It
was a
didn't make any sense.
weaponized bedroom in the basement.
I must not have seen that bedroom.
You see, Trixie has gotten incredibly uncomfortable now this is being brought up again.
Oh, a magical chain wrapped around that one's neck too, which was odd.
Around which? Oh, a magical chain wrapped around Trixie's neck?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I didn't encounter anything like that in the other bedroom either.
I'm gonna start making quick sketches of the wall traps that we found, the doors, the weapons that we found, the hidden room. I'm gonna start quickly sketching out everything that we saw, including that double-sided scimitar that everyone else missed.
The blood washer that you said that that taste funny made your tongue go numb. You don't have any of it on you or anything for seasoning or anything for later? I mean, don't you like eat people?
Just the rag. Blood isn't very nutritious.
That's good to know. Is that wine here yet? Can I may I see the rag? Maybe if I cast identify on it, maybe you can tell.
The more wine is brought to the table, along with a few more jugs of ale and mugs. And
I grab the. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
One by one, the meals start to come out.
As soon as the first bottle of wine is set down, I grab it, pop it, and take a good, healthy chug on it. Maybe a little longer than I should. And then as I go and I start pulling out some of the ritual components to cast Identify on the blood.
Okay. Roll me a... an Arcana check, I think. The wine itself, while a little cheap, you can tell, very strong, and it's going to be working very quickly.
Okay, Arcana?
Yes.
$24.
All right. Okay. With that check, having cast a ritual of identify on the blood, I assume the bloody drag, yes?
Correct.
So, with this and your knowledge of the arcane and knowing that this is blood and not an item, you know that it's going to be a bit more difficult to discern correctly the properties, if any, within the blood, but you do pick up some vague things, which is unusual. As far as you're aware, the only kind of blood that should be magical are, well, creatures that aren't normal, I suppose. Either that or whatever is injected into the blood via some sort of poison or other means. The first thing you pick up while studying this bloody drag, as your eyes flash blue, coating into a sort of different spectrum, you get the sense that there is some sort of unnatural substance to the blood. It's dark in the sense of mysteriously and what's the word? Ominous.
Before I react, would that check, and based on what you told me, does it feel like something that was introduced or that was always present?
Is in what?
This presence, this dark, ominous. Do I get the sense that it was like an introduced substance, like a poison or a bite or a sting, or was it always there?
Given the nature of the spell that you're using, you're not sure. It's just currently present.
I relay that to the party. There's something dark within this blood. Something is wrong here. So Kayla, she was stabbed in the back or the lower back with a dagger of some type. Had a weird symbol. I believe it was a star on it. I don't. Maybe.
Do you still have the
please.
dagger? Do you still have the dagger?
The dagger was never left. Whenever I noticed it, I was flung 15 feet back by some type of force, a magical push, if you will. I don't know. I didn't get really a chance to examine it, but it was gone by the time I got back to her body.
Do you remember the symbol? And I hold out like a piece of paper and a quill.
So, based on what I told you, Korva,
yeah, I was just reading over the notes.
I figured, yeah, to save you some time, this is part of the reason I was a little vague. So, it all happened very fast. You didn't really get a good look at it. You just noticed that it was a star shape.
I would just relay that. It was a black dagger of some type with a star shape symbol on the pommel of it.
I was dealing with some shady people before I came here. Does it sound familiar?
Make a history check. And I'm also going to PM you, Cal. 1 second. Actually, yes. It would ring a bell. It's
Go ahead.
no. There you go.
No, I was just gonna to fill silence. Corver takes another chug, and just says that this our Hana that Kayla was talking about, I believe it is the Shade Master. And I mean, this may be wrapped up in the whole cult problem that the Shade Master was talking about, which I'm assuming is our Hana, unless Kayla had a twin.
I feel like the whole reason that we went there and broke in was to learn things about her, and I feel like we didn't learn anything useful.
Well, I think we kind of did. There was a dungeon in the basement, I guess, that would change in pits. And now that this figure struck Kayla, and with Kayla saying that that our Hana owes blood money to these people, maybe I whisper this. Maybe the Shade Master was involved with the cult.
Not the cult. I recognize the symbol from when I was in Western. They are very criminal people from Western in the underground. This is the symbol they used. So if she owes money, it's to them. And she was in Western, or she had gone to, or someone had.
I will pass Kel the paper and quill for the symbol.
Yeah, I'll draw it as best I can.
All right. In that instance, I will pull up the symbol. One second. Save to my desktop. Okay, I'm going to post it in game resources. That is the symbol that you see Kel draw in a rough sense.
Question, would Trixie recognize it with his background?
Yes, very strongly.
Yeah, these are not.
I doubt anything is open tonight, but tomorrow we should attempt to contact the Shade Master.
Do we even know where she went?
I want to say that I think she went to the Umbra Hills. And please correct me if I'm wrong, anybody. This wine is tasty.
I mean, I don't think Fish would even know where that is. But short of going there, I don't think we have a way of getting in contact with her. Unless anybody else has ideas.
Um, after I get about 3/4 of the way into this bottle of wine, which I am hoarding to myself, I offer, but I drink it. Um, Corvar would get very quiet, and after a minute of brooding, will adjust density on the bottle of wine and crush it in his hand.
Yes. As the entire bottle shatters and just wine spills everywhere.
Are there any more wine bottles at the table?
There are 2.
I take both of them, and I stick them in Bosch's backpack with myself.
Okay.
Kel's gonna stand up. Oh, sorry.
No? Yeah.
And she's gonna grab Korvar by the back of his neck, and she's gonna drag him outside.
Okay.
Now, let's go. And she'll go back to the alley, and she'll sit him down on the ground. She says, "You need to choose what you want to be feeling right now, because that's going to control the rest of us."
Slightly slurred. Kill. That's the problem. I don't feel anything. I did what I did with the burial out of a sense of tradition or honor or fucking heritage. The rights I said, while I didn't mean them, I don't believe them. They're not my own. I don't know what to feel. I barely knew her.
This was a woman that, if nothing else, you were intimate with. Yes? That brings up feelings, no matter how shallow. It's a connection. You can feel rage, you can feel numb, but you can't be self-destructive. I would know. It helps no one, and it makes you very tired.
Well, I don't feel my rage. I feel hers as I stand up.
Whose?
I ignore that. All-consuming, black, dark, anger, rage beyond measure. I thought that if I kind of smooth out my robes a little bit, or my traveling suit, adjust my hat. I figured that if I tapped into that, I would feel something. You've been at sea. Do you know that feeling you get whenever you gaze into the ocean, looking straight down and see nothing but the abyss?
Yes.
That's what I feel right now.
We can work with that, but you cannot hurt yourself. And I will help.
Thank you, but
and so will the rest. I have a decade and some of rage in my heart. I've learned it does very little for the people around us. I would like to help you deal with it at some point.
Thank you, and to answer your previous worry or concern, I'm never gonna hurt myself. I'm too precious. And I think you misunderstood me. It's not my abyss that I'm staring into. As I kind of get a little bit taller, and there's a serious look at it, and I repeat it again. When I look inward, it's not my abyss.
Okay. Then we will deal with that too. But you have to ask for help. If you're not fine, don't pretend.
Thank you. And I appreciate the advice, and I will take it. There is something that, from one sailor to another, while we may be on different sides of the same coin, if you see me falter or fall, say something.
Always. I'll head back to the tavern. Clean up his wine bottle.
Yeah. By which point the barmaid is already on the case.
I would like to stay out there for quite a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So you remain outside in the cold as it gets darker and darker. Pretty quickly at this time. Colder and colder. Slightly numbing the skin, but seeming to do nothing for the inner burning. Eventually, you do make your way back inside.
Proprietor Sama, another bottle of wine, please.
Maybe not. And I take out one of my bottles of wine and I pour him only a glass. And then I cork it and put it back.
I don't know how familiar you are with corking bottles of wine.
I'm not.
So, Basha
He just shoves it in,
Yeah.
shoves the cork into the bottle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Basha might
Yep.
have a bit of a leak going on, but, time will tell.
Yep.
But the glass of wine is poured.
I sip it, put it down. Fish, you had a ring that I needed to identify. You asked me a little bit ago. Would you like me to do that?
Yes. And I'll hand him my ring very slowly, like, are you sure you're okay to do this?
I am perfectly fine, thank you very much. As I put it down, at least you didn't throw it at me this time. I am fine.
Yeah, sorry.
I drained the glass.
Okay. Make me a constitution save for me. It's about time. All that wine and alcohol for a skinny, lithe elf is going to play.
That's a 4.
That's a natural one.
So, Corva, you start casting Identify. Halfway through, you're starting to feel uncomfortable like the whole time. But halfway through the ritual, as you close your eyes to meditate on the spell, you pass out.
He just zonks the fuck out.
Yeah.
I'll just
He's like,
take
like
the
just
ring
a
back.
moment of silence where he's meditating on it, and then somebody's like, I think he fell asleep.
Yep.
Yeah. I take the ring back, and I take both of the bottles of wine, and I put them back on the table. I'm not gonna do anything with wine, I just didn't want him to have it.
Korvar passes out. You guys are left at the dinner table while more patrons enter the tavern. Interestingly enough, some of you notice two familiar figures enter the tavern among all the other patrons that are starting to slowly come in for the evening's gathering. And just for frame of reference, this would be the equivalent of a Friday night. So you guys are pretty sure the tavern's about to get rowdy at some point soon. And these two familiar figures appear to be Daryl and William. And they just walk in, and they're just kind of
Boys are back at
side by side, walking in with a few other people that make their way into the tavern. They go up to the bar, speak with the bartender, sit down at a table, and just sort of seem to sit there and chat occasionally, same as everyone else. So, what do you guys wish to do?
If I feel like the tavern's getting rowdy, I'm just gonna pick Korvar up and try and take him to his room.
Alright. Not too difficult for you, considering how light he is. But you pick him up. It's kind of like as part of like the spilt wine from before. His clothes are still a bit damp and whatnot from not only a bit of blood, but also all kinds of things like wine and mud. But you pick him up and
I
start taking him
shake
to a room.
and whisper, "Cold hands."
He looks poisoned.
I mean, technically.
Just pop him in a room and I guess go back downstairs
Okay.
to the tavern.
You pop him in a room. You go downstairs. Everyone's there.
Great.
How rowdy of a Friday night tavern are we talking?
Well, funny you say this, because by this time, people, like, the chatter starts to get louder and music starts to play, tavern music. But interestingly enough, at some point, among all the, for the most part, very dull coloured people, you notice one particular individual walk in. But before you see this individual, you hear this and you see walk in the tavern kind of weird metallic sounds as you see this robotic metal chicken walk through the tavern.
Chicken.
And then you see someone run after it, and it's a very short person.
Come back here, you stupid bird! It's the last time I let you get any of my oil!
Okay, feeling sympathy for the chicken, Animus will immediately shape change into a chicken and join the chicken just to confuse the fuck out of the person chasing it.
Which
That
I
was
started
fucking
chasing
brilliant!
chickens.
What are you doing, you stupid chicken? Stop multiplying! I didn't make that!
I start chasing the chickens.
Dan,
What is going on?
you're having a hard time actually remembering which one's yours, as they look exactly the same. As there's two metal chickens.
More!
To start
More,
fluttering
you come
around
over
the
here!
cabin.
You leave your friends!
He'll
can't
chase
eat
one,
these.
I'll chase the other. I don't know which
Because
one is which, but
this chase.
it's a chicken chase.
And
the chicken run.
funnily enough, Kai, my character is only 3'3".
Yeah. So it's
Oh,
So
you're
it's
taller
just
than
two
me.
little midgets chasing two giant
Yeah.
chickens.
pretty much you guys are darting between legs, diving under chairs, and like trying to, like, the whole
Wait.
time the band is playing, and they start playing like this sort of upbeat music to sort of match the pace. There's two chickens and two midgets are starting to rush around the tavern. The bartender, some of you notice, just looks so unimpressed.
Getting annoyed, I'd like to pull out one of my what you guys would see as a little brass and silver-plated sphere, and I'm going to press a button on it, and I'm going to say, "You stupid chicken, stop that!" And I'm going to chuck it, and what will explode is the effects of the grease spell, but it instead is all butter. All melted butter.
Why?
Oh no!
And everybody standing in the bar needs to make a save to see if they don't fall prone. Or at least in that direction.
How
Yeah, I don't
wide
know.
is this area of effect?
Hold on, I'm looking it up. It's not very wide.
Also, is it dexterity save?
It is a dex save. And what's the DC?
Depends on.
It's a 10-foot square.
What's the DC? Probably like 14, 15, isn't it?
I'm looking at the spell and I don't see the DC on it.
It's
your spell DC.
It's your spell
Yeah.
DC.
Oh,
I'd imagine it'd be about 15.
that sounds right. I'm sorry, I'm not
Let's go
very
with
good with
15.
D&D beyond
It's
spell stuff.
Let's go with 15.
And it's a dexterity saving throw.
It's a 10-foot square, so who would all be in that square?
Well, in the direction, I'd say obviously fish. You'd eventually make your way
Yeah.
into it. So roll me a
I'm
dex,
fast.
Both chickens
as well as some of the other patrons, which fail.
and the chicken.
And I'll roll for the chicken.
Plink, your spell save DC is 14.
Thank you.
There you go.
You're welcome.
Boom.
Hmm.
15.
What is chicken dex? I'm gonna put chicken dex at 1.
It has a character sheet out. I can pull it up.
Okay, hold on. I'll also do
I
it.
reckon it's 1.
Did you just
Okay.
kibosh her on butter?
No, he did not.
You
Good.
go to the floor in a small area in butter, and given the speed that I run at, I don't think I'd be watching the floor. I'd just be running and then whoop! I slide across the floor because I made the DC.
Yeah, so what happens... this is towards the bar, right? So, what happens... Okay, chickens get 4, or at least 1 chicken. Adamus, I'll let you roll your own.
15.
15. Okay, so you succeed. So,
Poor connection out here.
One actual chicken.
so a number of patrons that are at the bar already, as this thing explodes and you hear and the whole floor is covered in this sort of butter. It's really weird. The sphere itself seems to just sort of disappear, and Fish, you notice this just in time, where the chicken in front of you goes and falls straight forward, sort of beak scraping into the butter, hits does the whole cartoon hit into the bar. The feathers go up as you slide across on your feet and just collide into the thing as well, catching the chicken. The other chicken, however, slides, basically just stops running and just becomes motionless as it slides across into you guys.
S'more, you stupid chicken! I told you to stop causing a scene. When we come into every town, we come into. I'm tired of this.
Yeah, I tackle the current chicken that I am chasing, and I just go, I got it! What's my prize?
Don't let him peck you. He's a dickhead.
He looks like a chicken.
I stand by my point. Dickhead. And I'm going to walk up to the one you're holding, and with a wrench, because I don't know which one it is, I'm going to tap on it a few times and go, "S'mores at you!"
You go ding ding ding, and you do feel a familiar connection. And it kind of looks up at you and goes,
Yeah. Bloody troublemaker. And no, I have not settled on an accent. It's going to be every accent I can throw out at one time. I've decided on that.
What's this?
Oh, man.
Say again?
What did you say?
I have no good accents because I'm bad at voice acting, so I'm just giving him every accent that shows up when I speak.
You do, man. You do, you man. Play it to your
He's a
character.
very diverse little gnome.
So, how big is this chicken?
It's sort of half
It's
the size of you
sizable.
in this form.
So, am I riding a chicken right now?
Could be.
It's large enough that a gnome, that a small creature can ride on it. Yeah, because like you and I are both small enough to ride on a steel defender.
It is a chicken mount, yes.
A robot chicken mount.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to like lean over its face and like tap on its head and be like, "You're not as good as Bisha." I'll get off and I'll go over to Basha and be like, "The chicken doesn't do it for me."
I'm going to walk up to the other chicken and tap on it with my same wrench, and I'm gonna be like, "Who are ya? Who made ya?"
Bite him.
Do it.
Make an attack.
I'm just watching both of these going, I can't eat them.
Yeah, and by the way, a couple of the other patrons have fallen and are now getting up and looking at you, Plink, and just sort of folding their arms and looking at you like, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna turn it. We'll look at him and be like, "Do you see these chickens? I'm busy."
They sort of shake their head and just start walking away, starting to try and get all the butter off of them.
What do you think the attack modifier would be for a chicken?
+1.
+1, okay.
Oh no, sorry, for attack, +3.
It's +2 for the steel defender.
I know.
Is the strength modifier? Okay.
Okay, cool. Well,
I
even
mean-
with a +1, I got a 20.
Yeah, so either way,
God
it hits. So, Plink, you get this very painful peck to your finger as you try and like tap on it.
Ah, bastard! You're no different than the other one. Who made you? You don't speak? Come on now.
I'd like to walk over and pet Adamus.
And I will make a mechanical purring sound, which is not very much like a chicken.
Blink is gonna turn and look at the goblin and go, "Did you make her?"
No, I assume its parents did.
I'll
They don't
just
have
nod
parents.
this entire time. When he said, "Did you make her?" I'll just...
In the chicken way, just
Yeah.
I would like to hit her with identify.
isn't that a 10-minute casting?
Well, yeah, but
I've
I've
been
chased
doing it.
chickens around pretty typically.
I've been doing it as ritual this entire time. It can be an action if it's prepared.
Yeah, I have it as a spell.
Okay, so are you casting it as a ritual or not?
No, because I don't want to chase her around for 10 minutes.
And also, the bartender is looking at you like, you need to do something about this.
I'm gonna turn to S'more and say, "Clean this mess up. You're always causing trouble."
And it just starts
I'm gonna give
like,
Adamus.
wiping it.
I'm gonna give Adamus little chin scritches.
Okay. It's kind of like nails on chalkboard kind of sound.
Yep.
But anyway, you cast Identify, and it, in fact, is not a magical item. It is a humanoid.
You're a thing. You're not a thing. You're a thing.
I'm a what? You're a thing, Harry!
You're a hairy thing.
Damn it.
Oh
And I'm
no.
gonna tap it
When
again
he
with
says
the
that,
wrench.
Kel will cast Primal Savagery and bare her acidic teeth at him.
Oh, I'm not even looking at Kel.
Wait,
I'm
what?
just looking at the chicken, trying to figure out what's going on.
Okay. Well, at the end of 5 minutes, the butter is all cleaned up, and the tavern goes back to its lively self. So most people watching you curiously occasionally.
And Plink is going to look at you and go, "You can talk." Don't even. I heard you talk a minute ago.
I know this game.
It's called chicken.
Adamus, just add a character. Adamus actually can't speak while in wild shape.
Oh, I thought you spoke just a minute ago.
No, that was out of character.
Oh, okay. That's my mistake.
It's funny because there probably is a wizard called Harry somewhere in the world.
I'm going to bring S'more over, and I'm going to start comparing the two.
No, measuring contest.
Yeah, I gotta see if my chicken's bigger.
That's okay. I'm
You
gonna
gotta measure the cock.
I'm gonna notice the little notes that Plank is taking, and I'm just gonna say mine is better, and I'm gonna ask Adamus to dance.
As you look over at my notebook, what you will see, just sifting through, is the words "hammer hands" written off to the side, scratched in little scribble.
Oh my god.
It's gonna be a tavern fire. Prepare yourselves.
We will never leave this tavern in peace.
Oh,
All right.
Yeah, no, so I ask Adamus to dance with me while the people are playing music in the tavern.
The chicken dance.
Chicken dance.
Okay.
I'm dancing with you.
Make performance checks.
Oh god.
+0.
Oh boy.
8.
4?
Okay. The dances themselves are terrible, but it definitely draws attention.
I think he's gonna look over at S'more and go, "Oh, that one could dance, but all you can do is find trouble." Sick of ya. Don't even give me that. I'm not giving you oil, never again. Not once. Butter only. Nope. Butter from now on. You deserve it. Don't even sass me. Go join your chicken friend.
It sort of walks off.
Oh my god.
And then Plink is going to hop up onto the bar, because he does have to hop to get up there. And he's going to drop a few gold coins on the table and say, "I'm sorry for the mess. The chicken's an ass."
Yes, I think you all are.
Yeah, well, who isn't?
Can I get you anything?
Yeah, I'll have a drink. Strongest you got.
Alright, coming up. He starts getting the drink, puts it on the counter, takes your gold pieces.
Thank you. And he's going to turn around and he's going to watch the chickens and the goblin dance.
Alright, which they do for a few minutes, yeah.
This tavern has probably had enough of our weird raves by this point.
Yeah.
They somehow get stranger every time.
We're establishing a new business practice for them. The only tavern in all the lands with regular dancing raves of monsters.
For now.
I don't dance,
For now.
but I am turning into that chicken like it's an apple, though.
I mean, you could bite it, but they're both metal.
No, wrong chicken. The chicken that Corvar ordered.
You're
I'm not gonna eat metal
okay.
chicken.
by this point.
There are 3
Yeah, I
of them,
did.
too.
I'll just tear them apart.
Yeah.
This
Well,
reinforces my beliefs.
what do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to RP the next however long, or what? Time skip?
Kind of want to give this new guy the stink eye and see what I can see.
As a chicken?
as a
I'm
chicken.
so used to being glared at by robot chickens at
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah. He probably doesn't notice.
So what do I see?
Dan.
What you would see is a 3'3" rock gnome with very orange, fiery red hair and facial hair. He is dressed in some weird leathery brown robes which hold another spear like the one he had thrown before. A bunch of tools literally everywhere on his thing with no semblance of order or anything. He's got this overgrown backpack that could be as big as he is, and he's pretty much covered like in spots of soot and possibly dried butter.
My first instinct was to say I'd go over and start licking him clean as a chicken, but then I realized I have no saliva.
Yeah.
He's also got like goggles on his head, which one of them is cracked on the side. Like just straight, one of the goggles, the lenses is cracked.
Okay. In that case, I will re-atomize and
Holy
Go
shit,
in-
yeah, a fucking transformer!
I'll go and mend his goggles for him.
I could have fixed that with butter.
Is butter your scotch tape?
Are you a scotch tape? How did
I
you
like
turn
him.
into a chicken?
It's what I do. What do you do?
I make the chicken!
You make chicken.
Worst thing I ever made. No, I make that chicken. That stupid thing.
Do you make anything else?
I've got a book I'm making, and he's gonna whip out a notebook, and written in the worst handwriting, but in common you've ever seen, is 101 odd, and then the word odd is scratched out and replaced with wonderful, which is also scratched out and replaced with amazing. Uses for butter.
Oh god.
I've got a book! It's not done yet.
You wrote this?
Well, I'm writing it. What do? Shapeshift into weird chickens and stuff.
That is my only ability, yes.
Is that a bird in your chest?
Yes, her name is Avira, and she'll flutter on out.
My name is Plink Tink Tink Audette.
I'm sorry?
Plink Tink Tink Audette. Future author of the amazing, wonderful, awesome, odd things you can do with butter.
It's a pleasure, with a question mark, to meet you.
It will be. What are you
Alright.
doing here? I've never seen a construct with no... What, you have a maker? A wizard? Creator?
I have a creator. Yes.
Is it the goblin?
No.
Are you sure?
No.
Yeah, they don't always know. I keep having to tell that chicken who made it.
I was just gonna walk away at this stage. Not really sure
Plink
what's
is
going
going
on.
to hop down off the bar and follow you over to the people that you're going with.
Okay.
And then he's gonna continue on. So, do you know anything uses for butter? Anything weird? I don't want to cook with it. That's lame.
I feel like the foremost expert on weird uses of butter would be you.
Not yet. I'm working on it. Are you the
I've not-
foremost knowing person in having birds in your chest? Is there no better expert in the world for bird chests?
Not that I've experienced.
Oh, talking to a master then. Sorry.
I'm gonna just sit down with the people and just stop talking now.
Oh, you're a
Going-
bunch of weird ones.
I'm going to attempt to ride the chicken around the
Why
tavern.
don't you bite him? Let him on. And then Plink is going to introduce himself to you guys with the same zeal and energy that he introduced himself to Adamus as Plink Tink Tink Ardette, a very overzealous person who believes in the power of butter and mighty butter. He is also, just to be clear, a battlesmith artificer.
No, you're a gnome chicken maker.
Sorry, a buttersmith. A buttersmith artificer.
There you go.
I love it.
As you say all this, as I'm finishing up the last chicken, I'll look around for a minute and then look back at you and just poke you with one claw and just go, butter.
He's going to poke him back and then produce from his pocket, using wrist pocket, a piece of butter.
No, you, butter.
No, butter for you!
I need to roll an insight to see if I think you're messing with me. Because this could end badly for you.
Roll an insight.
I gotta choose the right character, though.
Kel will absolutely agree that he does look like he would make very good butter.
Yeah.
I am not messing with you.
Yeah.
If that passes, I am not messing with you. I don't know that you eat people, or that lizard folk eat people, or what a lizard folk is.
Yeah, he stares down at you, and doesn't. He takes the butter and chews on it for a minute.
As you chew on it, you'll notice it's meat flavored. It's flavored with grease. Because racistly, Plink has assumed that all monsters like meat.
Just shoves the
What, is
entire
he
stick
wrong?
of butter in his mouth.
I do. And now I'm a dog with peanut butter.
You know, usually I would make people roll the Constitution save. But given your background,
I know, right? Isn't
you're
it terrible?
sadly okay.
I'm pretty much a garbage disposal at this point.
Yeah.
So Plink is going to look at the group and go, so what are you guys doing here? Bunch of weirdos in a bar.
Says the weirdo in a bar.
All right, good talk, guys.
I'm distracted by the butter in my mouth, so...
I'm currently riding a chicken around a tavern.
Yeah.
Korvar's asleep.
Oh, right, Corval is asleep. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
He's just been real
Is he
judgy
alright?
right now.
Asleep isn't a strong enough word for what Carval is in right now.
I'm gonna have to give
He's
him the
passed
talk
out.
later.
A coma.
I'll
That's
give him the
close.
talk later. Just find another mate.
Oh, God.
So,
Maybe one you can eat next time? Sorry, continue, DM.
I was just gonna say, unless you want to continue conversation, you guys can all make your way.
Trixie's been sat in silence this pretty much the entire time, just sort of staring at his tank of the veil, and after a while of just this, he's just got up and he's left.
Okay. Heading anywhere particular?
Back to his room.
Okay, you make your way upstairs then. Funnily enough, in your room previously, I think you were the one that stayed in the tavern, weren't you? Or did you stay in the inn?
I stayed in the inn, I think.
Okay, so you'd make your way out of the town. Okay. You make your way back to the inn and get your familiar room. The rest of you. Your evening is filled with whatever you wish for it to hold. And eventually, you find your rest within whatever respective rooms that you allow or wish to remain in for the night. And at that note, we'll go ahead and take a break for 15 minutes, and we'll be back. And we'll pick it up from there. Alright, welcome back. We have just returned from our lunch, I guess. So, having an evening of chatting and general good times, I believe, Fish, you wanted to do something.
Yes, instead of retiring for the evening, Fish is gonna go find Bashra
Okay. Not too hard
and
to
ask
find.
if he wants to go on a little adventure before we pass out for the night.
Sure.
There's something just not sitting right in my gut about that house, and I want to go check it out myself one more time.
Okay.
DM, while we're settling in, I'd like to begin prepping work for another Lumos.
Sure, yeah. Just message me which one. So you
All right, will
two
do.
head towards the house. As you're traveling through the town, surprisingly still quite a bit of activity going on. This is roughly about more or less midnight. The chill breeze is strong tonight. The clouds loom overhead. The stars can't really be seen tonight, but the moon tends to shine through occasional open spaces, making this very eerie feeling as it hits the water that dampens the muddy ground throughout Joran village. An eerie sensation fills your guts as you make your way through the town and you get to the Shade Master's house. You haven't noticed this before because you haven't seen it in the evening. But the Shade Master's house lights up somewhat in the moonlight. As the moon hits and reflects across the polished wood, you find that some parts of the wood are indeed coated or reinforced with some reflective pieces or paint, you're not too sure, that seem to outline it, making it a very prominent, bold figure in the deep dark of the mountainside here. But you walk up to it. What do you wish to do?
I remember Adamus and Kel saying that there was an office that they couldn't get into before. And I wanted to see if maybe there was a window or something outside that I could get in through.
Yeah.
To see if I could investigate.
There are windows. Make an investigation check if you wish. Okay, not terribly hard, as you have dark vision. So you make your way around the house and investigate, and you do see a couple windows up above where you remember Adamus climbing up to. You also note the study window, which is still slightly ajar. And there's one more towards the kitchen side.
I'd like to go in through the office window that's open, but carefully, because I did not know that this was open.
Alright. So, you hop your way in. Make a general dexterity check. If you're trying to be careful. Or if you're trying to be stealthy, make a stealth check.
25.
You successfully make your way inside the window without it creaking. As you push the boards up, it just sort of goes and you hop inside, and where the desk is, you almost trip over what looks to be a small container of quills that seem to be very particularly placed in a certain spot on the desk. Noticing it at the last second, you sort of hand flip over the desk and onto the ground as to not disturb anything, landing silently inside.
I'm gonna look around and see if there's anything that I can go through, anything I can open, anything else that I can learn about the Shade Master in here. Cupboards, drawers, books.
Make an investigation check.
Oh god. Oh no.
What is that? Oh, 1.
It's a 1.
Hmm.
Total. It's just a 1.
So, having a look around, it's actually pretty hard to tell. The cupboard is locked. The what would be the wardrobe on the left, or that I had described Adamus open before, is unlocked, and you can, if you open it, you can see the familiar clothes that I described previously in there. It's about as much as you can sort of make out, really. Nothing particularly thrilling in here.
Worrying that someone else is in here because of the window. I don't want to waste too much time, but I'm gonna grab any random book off a shelf that I can to keep, because I'm not taking the time to read them all, and then I'm gonna grab some quills and go back out to Bashra.
Okay, so you yoink one off the shelf, you grab a couple of the quills. Just as you're about to leave, you hear this really ominous wind sound. And you jump out the window. Bashra's still standing there.
That I am.
I think someone else might be in there.
Oh, in the room?
In the house.
Was the window on the second or first story?
It's first.
Alright. Yeah, I'm not going to be subtle. I thought about doing stealth. I'm going to go barreling through the window.
Okay.
And a thing of teeth and claws.
Yes. I'll stay outside.
So it's going to look probably a little bit like Cloverfield, just shrunk down.
Okay. So, you make your way haphazardly through this window.
I do.
Scratching a bunch of things as you make your way in.
I'm gonna watch the other windows from the outside to see if anyone pops out.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Make a perception check.
Are you talking about me or Fish?
Fish. What are you doing,
Alright,
Basha?
cool. Well, I'm going to start hunting.
Alright, make an investigation check.
9.
Yeah.
I'm off my game.
Jesus. Today's my night.
It's gotta be for one of us.
Natural 20. So 21.
Basha, as you start making your way through the house, opening the study door, which is unlocked, it's trying to take in the
Of course
familiar, trying to take in the familiar scene that you had seen before. You hear this similar
I'm going to try to find out where it's coming from.
It's definitely coming from outside, and possibly through one of the windows. I'm not too sure, but you make your way around the house. And as you do so, the clouds shift once again as they continue slowly traveling, and the moonlight shades and disappears, and the place goes entirely pitch black. But you can see with your dark vision, in shades of grey, as you make your way around, you swear you see shadows here and there, and it freaks you out for a moment from your previous experience with some black misty figures that pop out of the ground. But you look a bit closer and they just appear to be silk waving in the slight breeze that is apparently coming from a couple windows, one from the kitchen and one from the lounge, making its way through, shifting these things in a natural, beautiful, but very mysterious way. You ignore it and continue your way up the stairs. And you still hear it as the house itself creaks a little bit. Wind continues to blow. It doesn't look like there's any sign of other people or beings here.
Yeah, if I'm not able to find anybody else in the house, then I'm gonna exit out the front after pretty much destroying my way through. Let Fish know, no, there's nobody.
As
Better to be safe than sorry.
are you communicating through the
Yeah, through the
Mm-hmm.
charm thing.
making your way back into the bedroom, having a better look this time. The window is still closed in the bedroom. Those pieces of clothing on the floor, bed still messed. You take a bit of a better look with your investigation check. Having a look at the things inside here, aside from the four-poster bed, there are a couple bookshelves here and there, more like cabinetry, one bookshelf. And you get this hunch. It's an inexplicable hunch. You're not sure how you think to check, but you check underneath the bed. And as you do so, you see this little black handle, just a small like knob in the wood that looks as if it's got some way of opening.
Yep, I'm gonna open it.
Like, as you flip it open, and you're sort of like, on like your face here at the ground. You're sort of doing this at a distance because you can't fit underneath, and you open it up, and feeling a little bit inside with your hand, you can feel this leathery feel. Feels like a book.
I'm gonna take the book out.
You take it out, dust it off a little bit, give a quick look. It's hard to tell any color or anything, and you can't really make out the writing in the dark here, but it's a fairly small book. Seems to be a journal of some kind, perhaps. Very lightly leathered, flimsy book. Not flimsy, malleable, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna stow that book in one of my little pouches. Yeah, then I'll go ahead and take my leave. And as I get outside, I'll tell Fish the same thing. Yeah, nothing.
All right. There's a couple things I wanted to get from the basement too.
If I could sigh, I would, but it doesn't bother me whatsoever. So, what you want?
I noticed that a lot of the weapons down there weren't that great, correct?
Yeah.
They were poor weapons.
Yeah. I wanted to get as many daggers as I could. I wanted to grab that double-sided scimitar, and I wanted to grab like 2 bottles of wine.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Downstairs. And that's it.
Into the cellar. At this time of day, or evening, I should say, it is a very creepy place. The moonlight reappears while you walk down the stairs, and it lights up this very eerily lit path down into the cellar that you've previously gone down. And you hear this familiar as the wind passes over the cellar door, leaving this musky, earthy smell. As you walk through the door, flinching instinctually, but safely passing through, you have a look around. You look to the weapon rack, which is just on the wall, and it's dead quiet. But you make your way over. Every footfall way too conspicuous for your liking. But you can start stashing weapons. A couple of bottles along the way.
So creepy.
Yeah.
I'm glad I brought Bashra.
I'll take whatever Fish points out. I really don't understand the significance on any of this stuff because it's always weaker than what I am, so there's no point for me, but maybe Fish knows something I don't. So I will be the large backpack.
Just grab the few things that I was looking for and just look at them and just be like, I am eager to leave.
Okay.
You hear a slight
Yeah, that's it.
dust falling sound coming from that passageway from before. Just sort of like a as the dust falls.
Mm.
And the moonlight fades once again.
I want to leave.
Yeah, I guess now's a good time to go.
It's
You done?
creepy. Yeah.
Alright.
You guys start walking.
Yeah, I'll put... Yeah.
Yeah, with the weapons in the backpack for the most part. Dual
Mhm.
dual-bladed scimitar, an exception. You have to carry that,
Yeah.
but you make your way out.
Yeah.
And I'll look at Fish and ask where to.
I'm like waiting for like the roll for initiative, and I'm just like, oh god. But no, I'd want to go back and get some rest. It's been a really long day.
Okay. Yeah, if she'd fit in my backpack, I mean, I imagine it's probably pretty full.
I can walk.
Yeah. And I'll start heading back to tavern with you.
Familiar blows through the wind, and an eerie sense continues to creep across the land, and you start making your way back. As you continue to make your way back, you hear sounds of squelching. You hear distant. You hear the wind.
Sounds like
again.
food.
But you make your way safely back to the tavern.
Bum bum bum.
I'm not
Get
leaving
back to the
Beishra.
tavern.
I'm staying in his room and I'm passing out where I feel safe.
No, I don't sleep inside.
That's fine. I'm going wherever he goes. I'm not leaving him.
I'm an outdoor dog.
I'm
so.
small.
There's still a pillow in the back in the saddlebag.
You might be a little cold. But yeah, I have no idea where you want me to put all this stuff. When I get into the tavern, if the rest of you guys are still there, I'm going to basically offload my bag and the two-bladed scimitar. And
Do we know where everyone is staying?
I assume that you've vaguely talked about it. You're not sure about Trixie, but
They are, because last session they were at mine as we were waiting
yes,
to go.
but that's an
in.
assumption. I think you just left without telling them where you were going last I knew. So you can assume...
Would I still be awake working on my toys?
Yes, at this point, yes, but I would assume that's in your room.
I know where
Which
Corvar is.
Which I don't know where that is either.
Hey?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know where Trixie and the gnome are,
Cal
which are
will
the two people I wanted
sleeping
to know where they
outside.
are, but I don't know, so that's fine.
You could probably, and now DM has to make his own ruling, but I would imagine that you could probably hear me yelling at my chicken and the things that I'm working on.
Yeah, see, I don't...
Because
I
I
don't
am a
know you,
tinkerer at heart, and I am yelling at everything I build.
I am going to go to Corvar's room and open the door, if it's open.
Okay.
I don't
We'll
know if
quick hold
it
on
was
that.
locked or not. Okay.
Kel,
Kel's camera is
froze.
frozen for me.
Yeah,
I
she
can't
froze.
even...
She scratched her head for a really long time.
thinking about where she's going to pass out. Right, here she comes. Yo, Okay.
Welcome back.
So, what do you want to do, Kel?
She likely would have. Last I remember, she would slept
Push
outside
to
with
talk.
Deimos the last time.
We can hear her.
Sorry, thought I was. Okay.
Oh, I can't hear her talking at all. Hold on, I'm gonna leave and come back.
Yeah, so last time she had slept outside with Deimos, so she probably found a similar campsite
Okay.
to sleep outside again.
All right. Yep. You can find a similar campsite not too far from the tavern. Bashra, you walk upstairs to try and find Korvar. Roll me a d4.
Sure. I don't know why I bothered. 1, 2.
You open the door. You just go up to the door. You open it with confidence. As you open it, you start hearing these very suspicious noises. And as you look inside, you see 2 people, a man and a woman, doing some sort of mating ritual. And as a moment goes by, the woman notices you, as she's currently on top of things.
Fair enough.
She goes, "Ah! What the fuck? Get out!" And the guy looks at you and says, "Get the fuck out!
So I take it you're not Korvar.
Go!"
Okay. Go back to your weird mating thing, humanoids, and shut the door.
Close the door.
Not Korvar's room. No, I'll keep looking for Korvar's room.
Roll me d4.
Fair enough.
Because no one knows.
I will
where
bother
Korvar
every one of
stayed.
them.
Okay.
Tomorrow morning, the. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just wondering if I'm still in the same room that I've always been in. DM?
Yes. If
Cool.
you wanted to be.
Just checking.
Yeah, you're just plugged into the wall charging.
The little Tesla slot. Yeah. All right. You open the door to this one, and you just hear this. It's just this like heavy heavy dwarf sitting, like lying on the bed, passed out.
Yeah, not Korvar.
Close the door.
Yep.
I love this game.
Roll another d4.
Yep. There are 2 doors.
Yeah,
left.
I'm gonna go through the whole goddamn thing. Roll the 1. I ignore the.
There's just roll a d2. There are 2 left.
2.
You open the door, and there on the bed, arm wrapped like off the side of the bed, head sort of half hanging off, drooling, is Korvar.
Cool. I'm gonna go in and drop my bag next to the bed. It's probably gonna make a very loud crashing noise because it's a bunch of weapons.
Yeah.
And then chuck the scimitar on the bed next to him.
Okay.
And did Fish go with me?
Probably.
I'm not
Okay.
leaving Bashra. I'm spooked.
So, yeah, I'm gonna say, well, we can leave this stuff here. I'm gonna go back to sleep. I'll be outside.
That
I
wouldn't have
follow
woke me
with
up at all. Or am I that drunk?
You are not waking up, sonny boy.
I follow with haste.
Okay. Then I'm gonna shut the door and go outside and curl up and get comfy.
Okay. So you leave the weapons and stuff with him. And you just go outside. All right. You set up camp for the night. Not too far from where Kel is actually sleeping. All right.
No.
Does anyone else want to do anything tonight?
Oh, just continuing with my sketches of Kayla and trying to kind of make as many like medical-esque notes as possible.
Okay. All right. You all find your rest eventually. Some of you sleeping more difficultly than others, given the recent events. Some of you sleeping too well. But you all find your rest, and you wake up in the cold, brisk, almost damp of the morning, as you can hear this as thunder rolls over the mountainside, and you hear this as rain starts to fall in Joran village, and you can hear like footsteps occasionally outside, very faintly, sort of running through mud and puddles. Bashra and Kel and Fish, you all wake up drenched. Korva, you are technically exhausted, 1 point of exhaustion, but everything else is recovered.
I would like to go down. We're all in the tavern, right?
For the most part.
I'd like to go down and have a drink.
Okay. As you go downstairs, there are a couple patron members that are passed out in chairs or on the floor in puddles of either sweat or what you hope is drool.
Hope is butter.
Probably don't want to hope that. Nevertheless, you get a morning's meal and some drink. And for those that want to, you can reconvene inside the tavern.
Yeah, I'll come back in.
Okay.
Trixie's probably already there, but has found the darkest corner possible and has just gone back to staring at his drink.
Yeah.
I'm actually probably
Oh, go ahead, Kai. Go ahead.
probably gonna go back up and find Korovar's room where we left all the weapons, and I'm gonna grab the daggers and put those on my belt.
Yep.
I think I found 3 or 4, and then I'm gonna grab the scimitar if I can, and try to make my way back downstairs.
So,
Well, I think I'd be up too. So
yes, so you walk into the room, not thinking, and there is the bag of these haphazard weapons, 3 daggers inside, and then you hear movement. You look at the bed, and just waking up in a very hazy, groggy sense is Korovar.
You good, buddy?
I've been better. What's all this?
By the way, Korovar, you feel this very, very cold sensation on one of your arms.
Is he cuddling the scimitar?
Just about to.
It's cold. No, I'm not attracted to cold things.
You get up, you find the dual-wielded scimitar.
What's all this?
Midnight adventure?
For me or for
Question
you?
mark?
Because, I mean, why are they in this room on this bed? And why are you walking into this room?
You're the scariest, so we thought they'd be safe with you.
Yeah, you're lying right now. Please tell me the truth.
I don't know. Bashra dropped it on your floor and we went outside and passed out. Please don't hurt me.
I'm not gonna hurt anyone if I can help. But
I
why
got you a present.
If it's wine,
And I'll pull out a bottle of wine that I pulled out from the cellar.
I don't want it right now. Thank you.
Okay. And I'll set it down and continue putting the daggers on my belt, and then I go for the scimitar.
Okay. Is everyone else downstairs?
Yes.
Okay, you can have your scimitar and daggers and things. I'm going downstairs. And to clarify, DM, you said 1 level exhaustion?
Yes. It's a slow walk to downstairs.
After grabbing the daggers and scimitar, I also make my way back downstairs.
A very tricky challenge for a goblin to lift this scimitar
I take my time.
Yeah, it'll be a while. But as you lift up
Do
the
we hear
bag,
the?
or you drag it, you realize the entire floor around the bag is stained red.
I'm gonna slowly back out of the room with the scimitar and close the door.
It's a very strong smell of wine.
I just close the door.
Yep.
And then make my way downstairs. I didn't do it.
There's a reason why I said I dropped the bag.
Yeah.
I didn't do it.
So, you'll make your way downstairs.
Hello, everyone.
Hello,
You look
click on
black.
it.
The fuck are you?
The fuck are you?
That's too many questions right now.
I just said
Pocket
I'm click
wizard.
on that. A wizard? You have one of those around here. I need one that attests something.
Yeah, there's one over there. If I point to the opposite corner of the room. There's a wizard over there. That person over there, he's one. I heard he's really good. I'm going over here.
As you say that, Plank is going to reach into his bag and pull out a hat with glowing symbols of butter and chicken eggs. And now this thing is actually like glowing and thrumming. I'm gonna say, good. Somebody needs to test this damn thing. And he's going to start heading over towards the man, and he's just gonna throw it on his head.
Walk away as quickly as I can and go over to my other friends.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that would be Trixie.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I just threw it on Trixie's head, and I'm gonna say, now do it. Come on, do it.
Chris is going to take the hat off of his head and is just going to just side-eye and glare.
Covered in eggs.
No, it's not. It's the hat is like egg symbols. It's not like
Oh, I thought you said
eggy
there
or
were
anything
eggs
like
in there.
that. No, it's like got butter and egg symbols on it that are glowing. And I'm going to be
What
like,
do you
put
want?
the damn thing on and do the thing.
What thing?
You're a fucking wizard, right?
No.
He said you were.
Well,
I
he's
wave
a liar.
as I hold.
And then he's going
I
to
wave at
snatch the hat
Trixie
back.
as I order a little mug of coffee.
I
And
flip him
mentally,
off.
I'm going to contact my chicken S'more to come and bother Korovar.
Why? What the fuck is this? Did something happen last night? What the fuck is this? Can I have some coffee, please?
Slowly making my way down the stairs. It's a mount. Take some practice.
He's going to apologize
As I'm like
to...
dragging this thing down the stairs.
I'm
Blink's
sorry.
gonna
Whose
apologize to
fucking
Trixie.
chicken is this?
Whose fucking chicken are you?
Corner gnome. His chicken can't
Is
dance.
Blink still next to me?
Yes.
I'm going to go on ahead and tell Pixie to bother him until he goes away.
This imp starts.
Plink is just
flying
going to
around
take the hat from your hand and walk off.
This imp starts following you.
Mr. Gnome. Mr. Gnome, is this your fucking chicken?
That depends.
Uh,
That's not a fucking wizard, is it?
Seemed like it to me. Please move your chicken away from me. I'm not really having a good morning or a good night, for that matter. So I don't know you. Please move it away.
Okay. Just tell it to leave. Damn thing doesn't listen to me.
Then move.
Starts wandering away.
That easy. Chickens aren't that bad. See? Are you a wizard?
Not now, Mr. Gnome. As I again turn away from him and go to my friends.
Not now, Mr. Gnome.
Have y'all?
No,
have
I
y'all-
don't want
y'all
your
know what
toys,
this is?
Mr. Gnome.
No. Showed up last night,
Oh,
chasing the chicken. Gave me a stick of butter.
that's
You want
okay.
some more? And he'll pull out another stick of butter, also greased.
I just enjoy the fact that the phrase "whose fucking chicken is this?" was uttered. That's exactly what I was hoping for.
Listen, I
Whose
picked the
chicken is
chicken
this?
purely for its comedic value. Alright?
That's made my day.
So,
Yeah, if you offer me a stick of butter, I'm going to hand it to Korvar because he looks exhausted and obviously needs to eat.
thank you, Bashra. I don't think a stick of butter will tide me over, but I thank you for that and for the. I'm sorry. What's your name, Mr. Gnome?
Clink, tink, tink, all that. Pleasure to meet you.
Plinkton? Plink? Okay, my name is Korvar.
Plink? Clink, tink, all that.
I'll take your word for it. Nice to meet you, Mr. Plink.
Nice to meet you too, Korvar. Looking for a wizard, let me know if you find one. Stupid chicken ran off the last one.
I'll be sure to. Why are you looking for a wizard?
For the hat, for the thing! Nobody listens. Here,
I don't know
and
what
then he's
any of
gonna
those.
shove the hat into
I
Korvar's
do
hand.
not. I will
Say-
move out of the way. You are not putting a hat on my head. I already have a hat. I have a
No,
tricorn.
he's shoving it towards you, not onto your head. He's just shoving it to you. This thing!
Okay, I don't know what this
It's
is. I don't want
for
this.
wizards!
Okay, it's
Do
gaudy.
I look like
It's
a
covered
wizard
in
to
eggs.
you? You're
You look like a
gaudy and
madman.
covered in eggs. You look a madman.
I don't know how to deal with this right now. I put the hat down. I'm drinking my coffee.
It is a very strong coffee. And it actually has a honey flavour to it.
It's so good.
As you take the coffee, the bartender winks at you. Nods.
Female bartender?
No. Male bartender. Not in that way. More like acknowledgement.
Jeez, we just killed one off, dude. You want another one, Dad?
I misconstrued that wink and I wink back as I drink my coffee.
I love it.
Eventually Trixie's going to get up and he's going to go join the others and just turn around and say, by the way, he's a wizard.
That one there is a wizard! I fucking knew it. You can tell they smell.
I wish I knew the silence spell.
And
I'm
Plink is
so
going
glad
to
you
slap the hat
asked.
onto your head.
Do
And
you know it?
as soon as it touches you, you will feel its energy. It is actually a magically enchanted hat as well.
Except he's already got a hat on.
Specific to wizards. Does he?
Yes.
Okay, what? I don't want your hat. It's a very
Well,
nice
he's
hat.
going to shove his hat off and do it.
It's a very magical hat. It's very nice. It's covered in
Just tell me if the damn thing works.
I cast silence over our table.
Actually,
Yeah,
everyone goes.
I know that
very
spell.
mysteriously quiet.
Bashra nods slightly and goes right back to what he was doing. Doesn't bother him at all. He
I
actually
cast
is
it.
very happy with this.
I mouth silent. I mouth over to fish. Thank you.
I cast it, and then both hands continue dragging this double-sided scimitar over to Adamus.
Which is the only. Wait, does the silent sound mute outside sounds? I forget. Does it deafen you as well?
It deafens everyone inside the range.
20-foot radius
yeah.
sphere,
All
so
right.
it's a 40-foot diameter sphere, so it's the entire tavern just goes silent.
Okay. So, Korva, you particularly, when this spell hits, it's a very uncomfortable feeling as you are already struggling from the past inebriation. Inebriation. That's the word. Now we're using it. Okay. And
I'm drunk. I got it.
Yes. No, you're not drunk. You're suffering from the previous effects of it.
Hungover.
And because of that, you are very heavily relying on your ears and the sense of balance within those ears to work. And right now, they are deafened. So you're feeling extremely ill.
I still mouth thank you over to Fish.
I just nod and continue dragging the double-sided scimitar over to Adamus.
I hold on to the table and drink my coffee.
I assume I get there eventually, but I
Yes.
can't say anything, so I just hand it to Adamus.
All right.
If Adamus sees you dragging it, he'll go over and help.
And as soon as you grab it, I let you have it, and I walk over to Trixie. And I give Trixie all 3 of the daggers that I found.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll keep the double-sided scimitar.
Trixie is taking those daggers gleefully, and just for the first time, actually pats him on the head. And this is like the first time he's actually touched anyone in the group.
You notice, Trixie, as you get handed these daggers, each of these daggers have a symbol on the end of the pommel. Very small. They are dark blue in color. Very finely crafted daggers. They are very nice daggers. And the end of the pommel has this symbol of, it's sort of, the actual pommel folds and gets like shaped into a crescent moon, and the other half of the pommel comes into the middle and forms a small star. I swear, if someone makes a communist joke, I'm gonna lose it.
And then I'm going to proceed to go over and sit next to Bashra, in between Bashra and Korvar, and just think to Bashra, it's such a shame that no one else can talk right now.
Before she does that, though, I'm gonna go on over to Fish and kind of just give him like a hug, and then put him down and let him continue.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with this.
It's
nice.
Should I release it?
Nope.
Everyone looks really confused.
I'm completely fine.
The only time they ever shut up.
I'm gonna enjoy this. Oh god, how long does... I don't even know how long it
I
lasts.
think it's like a minute.
I think it'll last a minute.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's not very long.
Yeah, I'm gonna let it run it. I'm gonna lean back, take out the book that I stole from the office, and for the first time actually see what it is, and enjoy that full moment of silence.
Yeah, speaking of books, I would very much like to see what that small journal contains.
Okay. Fish, what languages do you know?
Common, Goblin, Orc, and I'm learning Draconic.
Okay. You don't recognize this language.
I
so
pretend I do.
you can't read the title. It looks fancy. The actual cover is like a deep red that you can tell, and it smells like, actually like perfume in a way. It's weird. But Ashra, your book, what languages do you know?
I only know Common and Draconic.
Having a look at this book, it's a deep brown, malleable leather book with a simple flip and lock mechanism, as part of the leather cover. You can easily unclip it and start quickly flicking through the pages. It's all written in a type of broken common that you don't understand. You catch bits of it, like it, the, and, but for the rest of it, you don't understand the language.
Try to pay attention to the way the words are put together. Maybe they jumbled the words up, or did some type of cipher.
Make an intelligence check.
I'll just do.
Excuse me. While the rest of you have your meal in silence. A really nice change for some.
Trixie is
They
actually
appear to
going to
contain-
start trying to juggle the daggers.
Okay.
The book appears to contain words.
It does, indeed. Some of them don't even look like words, to be honest. If it is a coded message, you have no idea what it says. Trixie, make a performance check. Actually, you know what? This should be a sleight of hand, considering the nature of it.
I think, realizing that I can't read it, I would slip the book that I stole with my ring on top of it over to Korrivar with a note that just says "for later."
Okay. Korva, you get slid
At
this time.
21.
Yep. You quite deftly managed to start juggling these daggers, which is quite remarkable considering how nice these daggers are. It's quite a show. And then the silence ends. But no one, like everyone is used to not talking, so it just kind of remains silent for like the next minute or so.
I grab that book in the ring. I open the book first. Do I recognize any of the languages?
Please speak.
Common, Elvish, and Deep Speech.
This is the one Fish picked up. Yes, you do recognize it. It is in Elvish. So, the title of it reads... in big gold letters, Tusk Love.
Yep, smut. Come on, guys. We found a sex dungeon. There's
Are
gonna
we
be some
under the
smut.
effects of silence still?
You can test it.
I hand it back. That's a porn book. Well, no. To be fair, I need to ask. I skim a few pages. Is it a porn book?
It is indeed starting off in a very steamy setting.
I pass the book back over to you. That's smut.
I look at my book, and then I give it to Korrivar, saying, "Is this that?"
You start reading through the pages of this book, or whatever it may be, and to you, it seems familiar somehow. It's strange. It's like it's almost like common, and you pick out those similar words, and you catch a few more words, things that you've heard before, and you realize where you've heard it from. Way, way back, when you were a lad, you remember hearing it from those that raised you. This language, you recognize it as undercommon, but you don't speak it.
I reply truthfully. I hand it back. It's written in a language that some of my kin speak. I unfortunately don't know it. It's written in undercommon. I don't unfortunately know what it's about. I hand it back.
I can read it.
I thought you were across the room.
I joined you guys.
Yes.
Okay. And then I would revert and hand it over to Trixie, and then whatever Trixie's about to do, I will take out the components and everything to ritually cast Identify for Fish's ring.
Okay.
And I'm looking at the book that you gave back, trying to figure out what smut is.
I'm going to
I
go
don't
on ahead.
understand.
It's
I'm going to go on ahead and cast Comprehend Languages.
Okay. I'd say.
So
then,
you don't know it.
So I'd say then the two rituals finish about the same time. Fish, are you sort of like trying to flip through it, trying to read it?
I mean, I don't understand it, but I'll look through it because it smells nice.
Okay. So having a look through it, in the back section of the book, towards the end, where there are a couple blank pages, those blank pages have a few drawings on them that are very familiar, and they have a very familiar figure of the Shade Master and other people that you don't recognize in... Yeah.
I'll show it to Bashra.
A very well
For
drawn
what?
drawings as well.
Oh, for the smut book?
Yes.
I'll look at it, and then I'll ask Corvar if any of these positions are the ones that he dealt with last night. Before your mate was killed. As I'm going through. And then I'll ask the significance. I'll look at him and say, what is the significance of this?
I just give him a look, and just I whisper over to him as like I lean in close as I can get, and I whisper over to him, and I say, you know, I don't care if you play stupid with everyone else. I understand. I got it.
This was in common.
Oh no, and I lean over and I whisper, and this is what I'm saying. I understand that if you're playing stupid with everyone else, but I'm not in the mood for this right now. Pick your games up later.
What games? What are games?
I continue on with the ritual to figure out what Fish's ring is.
As he's doing the ritual, Plank's going to look at the book and go, well, that one, you see, that one they do for fun. I don't recommend it. It's not good for your blood. That one over there, I don't know why they do that one. That one's weird. You really shouldn't do that. That's not safe at all. And that one, ooh. Well, humans are weird. They do weird things.
At which point...
Why don't you just fertilize with a mate and then move on?
Nah, we like our rituals and dances. You know that.
At which point, Korovar, you identified the ring. It is a ring of water walking. And Trixie, you finish your ritual and you start to understand Undercommon. So you can read this book, and it's not very big. You know, it's at best guess it's probably about 300 pages, and it's all handwritten notes. Looking through it, you get the sense that though you can understand the language, it's all jumbled. It's very difficult to read. You've never come across this kind of thing before, but it's definitely in Undercommons. It's just the way they've structured every sentence and the paragraphs. It's all weird, and it looks like it's written backwards.
I go on ahead and I tell the others that it's really hard. It seems like everything's backwards. It's going to take me a while to read it.
Just flip it upside down.
I hand back the ring to Fish. It's a wing to allow you to walk atop water.
I never have to take a bath again.
Well, that's not really.
And I put it
preferred.
on, and I hug my hand, and I just go, thank
Okay. I'm sorry. I know I kind of retreated from the festivities early last night. But what are we doing about the Shade Master and this thing that happened yesterday?
Ooh, something happened.
I'm sorry. Who are you again?
Blink Audette. Nice to meet you. And that one over there is small. Stupid chicken.
Where's Damos?
Ooh.
I haven't seen him since yesterday.
I go on ahead and pass over that letter to Corovel.
Oh yes, I remember. Are you Damos's replacement?
Who's Damos? I'm just here because the stupid chicken ran off my other wizard.
I look over at everyone else except for Plink. Is he traveling with us now? Is he?
Well, I'm traveling with you guys now, huh? That'll be fun.
I like
That
the
was
chicken.
that wasn't an invitation. Okay.
Will you try my hat? I just want to know if it works. I'll make it less ugly.
I don't want to try.
I'll make it less ugly, I promise. I just want to know if it works.
Corovel, maybe if you try on his hat, he'll leave us alone.
No, that's enabling. If I try on his hat, he'll ask for more.
You'll ask for more.
Not from
I
you.
have a question for Plink.
Yeah?
How fast can your chicken run?
Oh, he's pretty fast. I'm pretty small. It takes me a while to catch up to him all the time.
How fast?
S'more! Fucking take off! Take a hike!
You watch this chicken from like one of the other corners just sort of pecking the ground, look up, look towards the door and start sprinting and just straight through the tavern and out the door.
How fast?
I don't actually know.
I put his the Steel Defenders stats in game
Pretty sure it's like 40 feet.
resources.
40 feet.
It's okay. I still got this. It's fine. That's my trophy. No one else can have it.
Okay, so let's just to be clear here, the Steel Defender is supposed to be a dog, but that's boring.
Not necessarily.
And I wanted a chicken.
That's fine. I just want to be the fastest.
Mr. Plink, okay, this hat. To get this over with, what is it you want me to do with this hat, and why are you asking?
Okay, so hear me out here. Hear me out. Wizards don't like me. You can tell.
Really? You don't say.
Yeah, you can tell. I may or may not have dismantled a wizard's hat. And this may or may not be my attempt to recreate it. And I need to know if it works. I'm not a wizard. I'll make it less ugly, and he'll take his hand and kind of like glide it over the images on the hat, and it'll just kind of wash away and turn into just a plain brown hat. Come on, you can have it if it works.
But what do you what is it supposed to do, and what do you want me to do with it?
Tell me if this lets you do things you can't do. Out of character.
I don't want to RP this shit.
Oh yeah.
RP.
Sorry. Try it and tell me what it does. I don't know. I'm not a wizard. It took me 2 weeks to get him to leave that hat alone. I knew it had to be special.
Just wear the goddamn hat, or are you a coward?
Well, you put the fucking hat on, then.
She's not a wizard. It won't help.
Are we still on this?
No,
Basha puts on the hat.
You're very pretty. Are you a wizard?
Mainly
He
because
is
Dick
now.
wants it to be quiet. He says, yes, I'm a wizard. Puts on
Do the
hat.
thing.
Do what thing?
The thing.
I wave my
You're a
hand
wizard, you know.
and go, woo.
I cast minor illusion on the table. And I make a dancing chicken.
See?
I
Wizard.
don't believe that you're a wizard at all.
I believe that would be a deception versus your insight.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, wait, who's deception? Because I feel like I'm just helping here.
This would be
Oh, it's
It'd
mine.
be the minor. It'd be
with
the
advantage.
minor illusion though.
This is Basha's deception at advantage, and then Plink's insight check.
God damn it.
With advantage.
Oh yeah, that's
How
right.
do I update the character to the one I have now?
Jesus, that's even worse. You type, 1 second.
You've got to upload the character sheet,
Yeah.
and then you can update it.
How do I do that?
So it's exclamation beyond, and then you add in the link for your character sheet.
Well, I tried, guys.
As all this is going on, I just put it out for the room. Look, I'm not a coward for not trying on the hat. I take offense at people thrusting things in my face and saying, do this, do that, simply because I'm a wizard. If I approach any one of you and handed you an item and said, do this, do that, you'd be a little reluctant as well. So, Mr. Plink, I understand that you're looking for a wizard and everything. I don't like that. Just being honest. I'm not a trained monkey.
Animus will also
You
just
can-
turn. Sorry.
Train monkeys?
Fish, I'll explain later, but it's an expression. Okay, don't. It's
I
not
make a
an
note.
actual-
Oh, hey, I beat Basha. Cool,
Yeah.
I know he's not a wizard.
They're definitely bullshitting.
So Animus will just turn to Plink and just say, we're not in the mindset right now to be experimenting with any of things.
Yeah, Plink is just gonna take the hat and shove it in his backpack and say,
The hell you are?
wizards can't have cool things.
You ain't taking the hat, it's mine now.
No, I'm
You
gonna
should've
take
thought
my hat
about
back. It is an artificer creation, and I will have it respawn in my backpack.
So
The
you
hat
destroy it
disappears.
and then recreate it.
Bashra, he took your hat.
Took my hat.
You gave it to him.
He took it.
Fish
Alright,
I
stands
gave
on
it
the
to you.
Fish stands on the table and he says, if everyone keeps arguing, I'm casting silence again. We're friends. Act like it.
Well,
And he'll like slam like his, I don't know, he's holding a quill, so he just like throws it on the table and it makes like no effect.
agreed. And again, moving forward, and Mr. Plink, you're, I guess, more than welcome to join the conversation. What are we doing about the events of last night and moving forward with the Shade Master?
What can we do? We've been hired to do something. Now, the question would be which one we need to do first, or if we can even do anything about the Shade Master.
Very good question. I mean, the only point that I see is venturing back out into the Umber Hills, and please, everyone else chime in.
I mean, so I don't fully understand, but from what I'm aware, you guys were all hired to find a sword.
Yes.
Or deal with a cult. Or something.
Yeah.
Do you have any leads on that?
We haven't even started looking at.
Well, we do know that the cult supposedly moves in and about the Umber Hills. Shade Master got called away. Kayla was killed last night for some type of blood money thing owed by the Shade Master. So maybe something along that line.
Korovar, I think this is something that matters more to you. I will go where you lead.
No, I'll be honest with you. We got paid once already. What happened. Um, whatever the Shade Masters mixed up in, the cult and everything else, I found what I was looking for here in this city. I just kind of like you lot.
Alright. You're not looking for revenge.
Question of the day.
Yeah. Am I sad to see a life snuffed out? Yes. I don't know who it is. I don't know what it is. And I honestly don't think it concerns me. But I knew that we were hired by the Shade Master, and I won't lie to you. I'm curious.
So let's begin there. If we know that they're in the Umber Hills, it might be best that we go and deal with the cult now.
From what I know, and I don't know about anyone else's experience, I think everyone else is new here, but I did some research on the Umber Hills. Just like last time, if we go without just us, it is very dangerous. Unless you have anything to add, Mr. Clink.
Oh, I got tons to add. Didn't you see the butter? I got the chicken.
I will show him a drawing of the sword that our party was looking for and ask him if he's ever seen it.
Oh, DM?
Sorry.
Have I seen the sword?
You showed a picture?
Yeah,
she showed me a picture of the sword.
the drawing of the
he
the
did.
one that we were hired to find.
Doesn't look familiar.
Oh, sorry. I haven't seen that before.
Well, this is what we're looking for.
Alright. Show the chicken. He gets around.
I show the chicken.
Chicken's not there.
Oh, right. He took off. We'll show him later.
That's true. I've done enough running for one day.
We searched the Shade Master's house. We couldn't find anything there, unless we go and question what's his name, William and his party about anything new. I mean, personally, I wouldn't mind having his spell book, but that's just me. But unless we go question him, then let's venture out into the Umber Hills.
Is there anyone else in town who would know the Shade Master's whereabouts besides Kayla?
If the Shade Master, or if the Shade Watch, who are directly underneath her, don't know and have no way to contact her, I doubt anyone else would.
Okay.
So you're looking for a lady and a colt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Mr. Blank.
You know anyone colty? It's a weird town. Not many magic people I've seen.
You kind of showed up out of the blue.
I've been here like 10 minutes. I don't think I'm in a cult. And Plink is going to look around his coat and like look around for weird symbols that he didn't draw himself. Don't think so.
Sounds like something a cultist would say.
I agree with Bashra.
Well, guess I'm a cultist then. What do I do now? Anyways,
think
more to the point. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Should start. Yeah, I think we should start with what we know. The only possible lead that we have is William and his friend, so I think we should probably start there.
That or the small settlement where we found you, Fish, and where the rest of us were led to by Mr. William.
Technically, I found you, but who's keeping track?
Obviously, you are. But yes, but I mean that small settlement or whatever. Maybe we go back and look at things that we didn't look at before.
Mm-hmm.
Fish and I
I'll
could probably
get
go
to see
talk
it for the
to
first time.
I was gonna say, Fish and I could probably go talk to the guy that you know. We're new. Oh wait, yeah, I guess I don't know that, but sorry. I'm new. I could go talk to him.
I mean, I think it would be best before we leave town to cover all of our bases.
Well, if we go talk to him, I would suggest all of us be together. I mean, whoever whatever attacked me and Kayla last night was pretty powerful. So
Yeah, maybe with the little new information that we've got, something might strike his memory.
and I'll, as a personal note too, I am not feeling my greatest right now. I would like another day just to prepare before we head out into the Umber Hills anyways.
William was here last night. We could ask the bartender. It's a small town. He might know where they are staying. If they're regular, since we've met them here twice now.
It's a great idea.
You gonna go do that?
Yeah, I think I will. Yeah, I'll go talk to the bartender.
You go up to the bartender. Who's there? Looks a little tired. He looks at you. Yeah.
Do you know a man named William who...
Yes. Yes, I do.
Do you know where he's staying? We've been... he has some information we might need. Nothing troubled.
He looks behind you. There's his friend. You look around.
I'll look...
You look around, and they're passed out in one of the chairs, like laid back. Is Daryl from the previous night.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll leave a couple gold on the counter and...
It's a very humble bartender.
Yeah. And I'm gonna go motion to Daryl to the rest of the party, and then I'm gonna go sit with him and see if I can kick him awake.
Okay.
Before she gets him awake, I want to try to hide under the table.
Okay. Make a stealth check.
I will do that.
I'll also go over and back her up.
I'd like to follow Fish under the table. Small folk gotta stick together.
Make a stealth check.
If you don't want me
Natural
to,
20.
So, are you waking him up?
Yeah. She'll nudge him with her foot on his legs. If that doesn't work, she'll shake him a little harder.
You shake him a little, and you go, Hello?
Morning.
Is it?
Yes.
My head.
Someone made some choices last night.
Yes, well, one has a good time on a Friday night. What are you doing here?
Well, we're still in town for a few other jobs, but we were wondering if we could have a chat with you and William.
William. I was with William last night.
Mm.
He said something to me. I can't remember what he said. I think he said he was leaving or something, going somewhere. I don't remember.
Were you staying together, or were you living separately?
We live in separate places.
Okay. Do you know where he lives?
No idea.
Alright. Any idea where he might have gone? Or blank?
I think he said he was going south somewhere. I don't remember why. I think he went to Westruun. I think.
Everyone's going to Western these days.
It seems like it's a popular place for people like us.
Like who?
The folk that you find around this town.
Shady shitheads?
Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I need a drink.
I think you need food, sir.
Yeah. Well, one of them's gonna keep me alive.
Okay. Anything else? Before I let you sleep again? Information-wise? Okay. Thank you very much, then.
Alright.
And she'll deliver the news to whoever else is at the table. Western.
From under the table, do I see his spellbook?
Do you remember Daryl not being a spellcaster?
It was William that was, right?
Yeah.
I never met them. I didn't know anything about them.
True. Well, you don't see a spellbook.
Okay.
Can
I'm
I
gonna
tie
wait.
his shoes together?
Make a sleight of hand check.
Do I have any idea who William is in this room?
Nope.
I'm gonna make my way back over to the party then.
Okay.
Because I just remember Korrivar saying out loud that it'd be nice if he could see William's spellbook, and I assumed this was William. But I don't know who that is.
Excuse me, fair assumption.
Yeah.
So you leave him be?
Yeah.
Plink, as you're trying to tie up the shoelaces in the boots, you just feel it flinch, and then it kicks you in the face.
Wow.
Oof.
Fair play. I'm just gonna hop out and wander off over towards the rest of the group.
Holding your nose.
Yeah.
Yep.
I go up to Korrivar, and I give a little tug on his shirt.
Yes, Fish.
Which one's William?
I describe him because I obviously remember what William looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Is he in the tavern right now?
Doesn't look like it.
I'll keep an eye out for him.
Thank you, Fish. You're a good friend.
Try my best. And I'll hide under our table. And keep an eye out for William.
Alright. Make a perception check if you want to.
Can I just make sure that Plink's okay, like his nose isn't broken or anything?
Sure, make a medicine check.
You okay?
Natural 20.
Okay, right.
I'm gonna find this stupid book.
His nose definitely looks like it's gonna bruise, but it's okay.
I think I'm alright. You get used to getting kicked at this height.
That is truly awful to hear.
But very true.
Listen, you don't have a mouth, and you can still talk.
Sure. I
So,
turn
world goes
to
on.
Cal and Joetic. I just ask, are we done with Daryl then?
Unless you think you can get more out of him, but
I have
I think-
no questions in mind.
I think, yeah, we're done with Daryl. Daryl is maybe in worse shape than Korvar. Maybe.
Oof.
Oof. Yeah, seconded.
Oof.
Maybe we should join the others then.
Not really. That all roads seem to lead to Western today.
To Western or the Umber Hills?
Daryl said William was going to Western, south.
Right. Now the question, I guess, is do we follow up on William? Do we go check out the cult? Do we go try find the Shade Master? Like,
I don't know.
okay. Well, something we should discuss with the group, I guess.
Yeah,
And
don't know what else to.
start heading over.
Yeah.
21 perception.
See people. No one matched the description.
I'm looking for interesting books.
Doesn't look like there's any books around here.
I got a book. Well, it's not done yet.
Tell me, Plink, what are the weird ways that you can use butter?
Oh, am I glad you asked. There are so many ways that you can use butter. It is the greatest weapon on the battlefield. You saw, I tripped everyone in the bar and the chickens. Well, you and the chicken.
Okay.
You can make it explode. Oh, it's a great explosive.
You're a truly odd fellow.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Kind of pat him on the head and then go sit down.
And then he's going to jot down in his journal and mumble something about butter impresses people. Butter impresses robots.
Okay.
But yeah, Cal relays everything she found out to the rest of the party when they get back over there.
Yep.
I don't think following William over to Western is probably the best idea. I think let's go into the Umber Hills.
Are we looking for that sword in the Umber Hills? Dangerous place, that place.
I don't think we're so much looking for the sword as we're looking for the Shade Master and or the cult now.
I see.
Trixie, out of curiosity, were you attempting to read that book and decipher it?
Yes, over the next hour. That is all I've been doing.
Can you please make me an intelligence check?
If you just type !check intelligence, it'll do the whole thing.
Yeah.
Without making you pick.
You start to piece together some things, but the nature of deciphering this is fairly difficult, and it's going to take you more time with it.
I'll tell that to the group and tell them that it's going to take me a while to get through it. It's going to require multiple castings, but I can get there eventually over time.
Have you deciphered anything of note thus far, Trixie? I'm sorry. Trixie, have you deciphered anything of note thus far?
Yeah? Sorry, I'm really distracted by how itchy my bad arm is right now.
It's okay. If you wish to relay what you found, essentially the gist of it goes that there are pieces you can make out similar to what you can understand Korvar, but it's more what he's written is more scratches out of different attempts to filter through the techniques of deciphering or encoding a message, and so far she's eliminated a few. I keep getting that wrong. He's eliminated a few, but it's going to take more time to fully decipher it.
Okay. Then are we heading to the Umber Hills, or what does everyone think?
I think the cult is the only thing we really actually need to do right at this point. Everything else we'd just be following hunches with no basis.
Yeah, excuse me. Why are we looking for this cult?
We were hired.
By the person that is now missing.
Alright,
don't know
so
if she's
thought
missing.
process. Thought occurs. If we find her and she's fine, and we haven't done the job, or you haven't done the job, what have we accomplished?
We found her because no one else has seemed to locate her, and also Kayla before she died. Something I didn't tell everyone else is that the Shade Master, the day before she left, told her that she suddenly had to up and leave unexpectedly, which was unlike her.
I see. Well,
So I still think the cult and the Shade Master are a little bit more linked than first appeared.
well, if they're linked, then we go to the Umber Hills, find your cult, tell me where she is.
And the only place in the Umber Hills that we know of to search is the place we went last time with William.
We should talk to that guy.
Are they likely to be in the same place?
No. William was headed for West Run.
Yeah, William was
okay.
first.
And
So, like,
the
only
Shade
connection
Master was reportedly in the Umber Hills. 2 different places.
and the only
Yeah.
location we have that's in the common place is the place that we went with William that we did not search last time for the key, which may or may not be connected with the cult, which may or not be connected with the Shade Master.
Just a point of clarification. Questioning what led you to believe that the Shade Master's in Umber Hills, just for recollection.
Just as he left, and Korvar's assumption that whoever killed Kayla was a part of the cult.
Right, okay. I was just checking.
Yeah, and that's an assumption on Korvar's part, which is why he's relaying it like that.
Yep.
Lasher is good going to the Umber Hills. Something to eat, something to hunt.
Trixie agrees to
They've
join.
got all sorts of things to take apart out there. I'm happy to join.
And I'm more than happy to head out to the Umber Hills as well after a little bit of a rest, unless anyone else has any other information that why we should not go into the Umber Hills.
Mentally, I'm gonna send a message to Basha. Before we go anywhere, there's a small mess in Korovar's room.
Are you telepathic? Is that what's going on?
You don't know.
Because if
All
you're
I knew
using
that.
sending stones, it's an out loud casting, I believe.
Not for what she's doing.
Yeah, no,
Nope.
this is silent.
Okay. I thought I was misunderstanding. Yeah.
Oh, you
So
brought down that. Sorry.
I just convey that there's a mess in Korovar's room.
Yeah, you brought down that big scimitar, didn't you?
Yeah. But the
Yeah.
wine didn't survive.
Nah, I gotta get my bag. I'll pick up the scimitar with one hand. Kind of look
I
at
gave
it.
it to Adamus.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
That's better. Good call. I don't need that thing. I'm Bashra. I don't need your puny metal weapons. I am Claws.
Just
Out of character, real fast. I want to ask Kale, did you relay the whole star thing with the dagger? I believe that was.
Yeah, I mentioned that it wasn't the cult, that it was just folks from Western that were after the Shade Master, and Trixie confirmed.
Okay, so whenever I didn't, because I want to make sure that before I say anything else, whenever I say unless anyone else has any other reason not to go into the Umber Hills to look for the cult, I look over at well, at least Kale, because I know that you mentioned it. So
My only concern is that the people that attacked you were not the cult. So that might be an urgent matter.
I won't lie, and actually, I want to thank Kale and Adamus. Thank you for the advice and the help and the shoulder you both lended last night. Before I passed out, I do remember that much at least. I would like to find this cult first, but I most definitely would like to pick Kel your brain about the implications of why you think this is in the Western. Not that I'm concerned about Kayla's death or anything. No, it's just purely academic.
I feel like we talked about pretending.
Yeah, I know.
what time of day is it, roughly, after everything?
It'd be roughly 8 o'clock.
In the morning?
Yep.
And we get up early.
I would like to point out
Ridiculous.
that if we have the time, we should, or at least I should, definitely look into trying to get a hold of some thieves' tools.
Yep, that's
I can
what
help you
was
with that.
asking what time.
And I'm going to reach into my bag and pull out some thieves' tools, and I'm going to hand them over. Here you
Are
go.
there any forests nearby? Sorry, Dan.
The nearest forest would be the Bramblewood, south, maybe about a day and about a day's travel.
Okay.
A day and a
never
bit.
mind then.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Taking those thieves' tools.
I only have one pair, but I do have a pair of thieves' tools. That would be better put to use in someone else's hands than mine.
Yeah, I'm taking those happily.
Yeah, it's a complete set of thieves' tools.
I am now happy I don't need to get thieves' tools. I am good to go whenever.
Glad I could help.
So if everyone's in agreement, gather up and let's sally forth to the Umber Hills.
I'm gonna call S'more back.
Okay. You call. It's about 10 minutes that you wait. And then you hear this.
There you are, you stupid bird. What'd you get into? You know what? I don't even want to know. Don't tell me. And he's gonna hop on the back of the chicken, and he's just gonna stay right there with the group.
Okay.
I wish I could say that's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
So you guys are making your way to the Umber Hills?
Yep.
Okay.
I think we're resting up here for a day, right?
I didn't want to impose on the group. If preferred, yes. If not, we can leave right now. It's fine.
Corivore, it is up to you. If you would prefer to stay the day. I don't think any of us would mind.
Then take the day to prepare, and then at first light we'll take off. Thank you, Adamus.
Of course.
So glad we have another day. There's something I wanted to do today while we're here, but I'm gonna
How
save
are we
that for
getting
the
there?
next session.
Okay.
How are we getting there? We'll travel by foot.
But okay.
And one person by disc.
I travel by chicken.
I travel by Bashra.
And Bashra travels by disc.
I also traveled by Bashra.
Ah, boy.
But the disc is nice. I'm not gonna lie. It's a nice little thing to catnap on.
So, alright. Is there anything that you guys want to do during the day where we can pick up next session?
Nothing quick.
Not really, no.
Okay.
No, we can pick up next session.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Alright.
I'm gonna spend the day comprehend languaging on the book to try and decipher as much of it as possible.
Alright. Make a note of that so you don't forget.
I'll send you a quick DM on the quick message on what I would like to do as far as that little moat.
Okay. And the rest of you also just make notes of what you want to do for this day and anything in between. And we'll pick up there as you guys are standing outside the tavern, ready to begin whatever you wish to do to prepare for this day. Next session. So, as a note, Adamus, you're proficient with scimitars. You're not proficient with this double-bladed scimitar because it is a very special weapon that you haven't been taught how to use. It's not a weapon you've seen before. It's not a common technique. It's not a halberd.
It's got some very heavy, in all honesty, it's got some very heavy mechanical limitations as to who can use it.
Yeah.
Okay, can I spend the day trying and figure it out? Like start working on proficiency maybe?
I mean, sure, but it's not proficiency with a weapon is not going to be a very quick thing.
No, it won't be quick, but
you
I mean, I might as well start if I've got spare time.
You can certainly start, yes.
Yay.
I was going to say, I believe, are we alright to talk about the mechanical limitations of it?
Yeah, if you want.
I believe, and now I may be incorrect, I only read it over once, but I believe it takes either a specific elven race or a feature to use.
I mean, it's a weapon like every other weapon. It can be learned.
Yeah, if you're talking about the double scimitar from Eberron, it does require like a elvish trait to do. But you're right, though. Again, based on DM preference and everything too.
Yeah, of course.
Anything can be learned in the game.
It's still a weapon.
Yeah, of course. And I was just talking about that's what the statistical side says that the limitations are.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's up to the DM.
I mean, you guys know what I've said on learning spells and stuff, so learning weapons are even easier than that. So, yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
hey.
what a wonderful weapon. 2 attacks on 1 attack. It's crazy.
I mean, combine that with
Oh.
green flame blade as well.
A barbarian, hint.
A double-bladed scimitar, though, your primary attack is at 2d4, but your offhand uses your bonus action, only deals 1d4. It's
Yeah.
still pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's a
especially
very-
for me
Yeah.
who has no second attack.
Yeah, it's a very cool concept, both mechanically but also roleplay wise. I mean, can you imagine being the sucker getting chopped up by one of
Yeah.
those things?
Oh man,
Yeah, there's
The
a-
wind of death.
it's one of the very few D&D items I knew about before actually ever playing D&D, because I had a friend who was like obsessed with having that on his character.
Yeah, we have a fighter right now in one of the other servers that's so what he's using is the double scimitar. And I keep having to correct him on it. It's like, man, you don't get 2d4 on both of them.
No, it's the 1d4 on the second attack.
Yeah, as a bonus action. But I have to keep telling this guy. So it's the only reason I know anything about it, because I've done it probably about a dozen times now.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, it takes a race that isn't actually a canon race. I think doesn't it take
it's made in
a UA
Eberron.
race?
It's
Oh, I thought it took a UA race. My
No,
bad.
it's actually in the Eberron license content.
Oh, okay.
The race or the weapon?
the weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'll talk about the weapon. I don't know about the race.
Or
I want to say
if
the
I'm
race
not
is
mistaken,
you
it
have to
takes
be
a
of
elven race. It's a specific elf type.
well, it says that, but the caveat is that is again up to DM decision. They can always explain how you can know that or how you've
of
used it
course.
before, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think they put it in there. They said typically it's this, but
It is up to the DM in the end.
Either
My
way.
last-
Always.
That's
My
at the
last-
beginning of every book, though. It's always
Yep.
DM discretion.
My last bard used a double-bladed scimitar that was actually detachable in the center, so they could dual wield as well. And I was playing in a Varial, which is a homebrewed flying elf.
Like from God of War. That's
So
sick.
here's a
Ain't
question.
gonna lie.
Since you
Actually, she was
DM'd
Keelan's
it,
right
Basa.
hand
Oh no.
when I played her. She was really dumb.
Boy.
I always enjoyed Polar Master with a halberd
Ooh.
because
Oh, yeah,
that's just too
that's
much
good.
fun.
Yeah.
Fighters with that is amazing.
Yeah, add in the fact that your fighter is a bugbear, so you have 15-foot reach.
Oh, that reach
the
though.
reach.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Make that
after
make
you,
that an Echo Knight fighter. Holy shit!
Nope.
You're
Add
never
Echo
gonna
Knight
get
fighter.
touched.
all you gotta do is
You make
add
Oh,
it-
you'll
level
never be
and add a
touched.
sentinel.
Yeah, I did it
Sentinel,
as a samurai, where you get advantage on all attacks till the end of your next turn, and it's
Oh,
it's
those,
freaking
That's a
stupid,
good,
man.
Good
Well, let's say
combination there.
Yeah, Bugbear with Polar Master with a halberd, and then combine that with Sentinel. Whew.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, this guy was only level 5 though, so, but still he got, because when you use your little samurai thing, you get advantage in all attacks. So if you use that with Action Surge, you get like 4 or 5 extra goddamn, or 4, I think it's 4 attacks, and then a bonus attack on top of that, so you get 5, all at advantage. So you just go ballistic for a minute. Shit's hilarious to watch.
Like I said, whirlwind of death.
Pretty much, yeah. I've seen people just obliterate the hell out of a whole group just with that ability.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna end the stream, the recording here. Thank you all for watching, and thank you guys for playing.
Yep.
It's been fun. And with that, I'll peace off.